Welcome everybody. Good evening. What's up? Welcome to a new show of the Daily Mind Podcast. I know it is late. I'm so sorry. I know I give a time range between 5 and 9, and technically I'm still within the time range. However, though, it's still no excuse, but I'm going to give you a couple of them anyway. I've been very busy, but most importantly, hopefully all of you had a great weekend. Everything you got went your way. Either way, we start a whole new week and a whole new month. I keep forgetting it's February 2nd. It's Groundhog Day. God, I'll get into that in a second. I've done a show about that a while ago. Anyway, welcome to the show. And for those who joined me on my last show, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And of course, all the support. Make sure this is... Yeah, I think it's on. All right, but anyway, my weekend was pretty busy. I told you guys we're packing up. We're moving. The show is going overseas for quite a bit, and we've just been all over the place traveling and stuff like that. And again, Friday I turned 40, if you could believe that. Yes, Friday was my 40th birthday, and I was all over the place, and yeah, it's a lot. And I'm still processing the 40 thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like mixed with it. 40 is a big deal. You know what I mean? Especially we come to know a few people in our lives that can't make it as far as some of us have. And people gonna make fun of you. Oh, you're old. And I'm like, man, you better hope one day, Lord willing, you can make it to that age. If so, you understand what I'm saying? Like, being old is a gift and can be a curse to some, depending on how you look at it, I guess. But no, the 40th birthday, I was on the road. Went to go see my daughter, give her some things, and stuff like that. And my wife and I went out to eat. The usual birthday thing, of course. And being 40, man, it's a little bit more chill. I ain't gonna lie. It's like night and day. The past couple of weeks or couple of months leading up to turning 40, I was already in my mind thinking I'm 40. You know what I mean? Just kind of mentally preparing myself that I am at the mid-age. I am officially, I could say, a middle-aged man. Either way, it's a blessing. Either way you slice it. But anyway, I had a great weekend. Hopefully all of you had a good weekend. Rio, what is going on? Welcome.
You're an old geezer now.
Yeah, I am. And for some reason, I can't even hear you through my headphones, which is, actually, hold on. Never mind. There you go. I got to hear you through the speaker. What's up?
You're an old geezer, bro.
Yeah, I am. I most certainly am. Let me make sure my Bluetooth is on. No, shit, my Bluetooth ain't even on. That's why I can't even hear you.
How was the,
Hold on, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear you. I didn't have my Bluetooth on. I switched sound cards at the last minute, so
How was the
either way,
Windy City?
oh man, we weren't there long, man. But we were at this nice fucking hotel, and they upgraded our room for free. We had
Hell
like a
yeah.
whole suite. I was kind of mad because we were only there for one night, man. It had a hot tub in there. It was like a whole apartment in there. It was nice, and it overseeing the airport, so you could see planes coming in and out of the airport. It
O'Hara.
was pretty dope. Yeah, it was nice, man. But we were there one night. I was like, man, if I didn't have too much to do back here, we would have stayed the extra night. But it's all good, man.
Did you
We
jump
were
bed to
there.
bed?
What's that?
Did you jump bed to bed in the hotel, dude?
Bed to bed. There was only one bed in there.
Yeah, I know. That's just funny, though. Did
It
you
was
see the
just one.
casino this time?
No. We will visit our the Oak Grove one right before we leave because we got free comp nights, which means we got we both got free rooms for the month of February, so we can
Oh,
utilize
yeah.
those rooms anytime. Yeah, it's pretty dope. That's one thing about that casino. They do give you a lot, especially if you spend a lot of money there. Shit, they might as well. But however, though, yeah, the Windy City, it's one of my favorite cities, man. But short stay, had to hurry up, come back, and that was it. But yeah, now I'm under the weather. I'm sitting here cleaning up. Like we're almost done. Movers are gonna show up on Tuesday. I'm under the weather. I should be cleared officially tomorrow, and then I'm gonna be heading up to New York for
Game
a few
time, dude.
days.
It's chill
Yeah, I
time
know, man.
now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. I'm working. We're busting our ass, and I'm under the weather. I mean, I feel like it,
Yeah.
look like it.
Once
But
they once they take all your shit though, and you just have the cards and whatever you're taking, it'll be good.
yeah, that's it, man. Like I was
Chilling.
wigging out, stressing the first few weeks, man. But then this past week, leading to this point, it's been pretty chilled. So I've been doing the best I can. I've been just taking it easy. It's supposed to be like the best time. PCSing is like the best fucking time. I don't know why. Nobody fucks with you. You just show up, you leave. Shouldn't even have to show up, but whatever. and then just leave. That's
Get
it.
that final stamp tomorrow, you'll be good.
I would hope so. I got to clear one thing tomorrow, the arms room, pass it over, and then that's it. I should be good. Now that I've already finished CIF, so I should get the installation stamp, but I got to clear the shops,
Yeah,
turn
you
that
gotta clear the
in.
battalion first.
Yep.
But
So
it should
wait, you
be
got to
easy
clear
to get the installation. You just walk in with all the paperwork and they stamp it right there. Or do you have to schedule it?
what?
Do you have
No,
to
you just
schedule it? You just walk in.
no. That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say, do I got to schedule a final stamp? Hell no, that's crazy. Um, hope
Oh, yeah,
not.
I don't know if you had to or not. I think I did because it was like COVID, but
Oh no, I think in this case I could just kind of walk through and just be like, here, take this stamp, and that's it. But you can't clear the installation until you clear the battalion, right? If I'm not mistaken.
yeah, because they're gonna ask probably for those papers.
Shit, like I said, I'm already prepared to either be done by Monday or officially Tuesday. Like I said, the big hurdle is just clearing the arms room.
Yeah, but you're
But
on leave starting Tuesday, right?
that's right, yeah. So either way, if I gotta burn a day of leave, I'm not officially leaving to New York till Wednesday because the movers come Tuesday, so I can't quite leave yet anyway. So it
When do
doesn't
you
matter
move
to
out of
me.
your house officially?
The 17th we should be clearing. The 17th they should come. Everything should be clean. We should be out of there, and
And
then
then you're
we'll
just
cut
staying
off
at a hotel till the flight?
for the most part. Yeah, we already like got something lined up. We got to take her car to get detailed, and then on top of that, we gotta turn the car in and all that shit because it's got to be clean and all that. So
Yeah, won't it get dirty on the drive there?
but see, that's what we're gonna try to find a place out there before we turn it in because I
Oh.
said the same thing. I was like, we're gonna drive 4 hours. The car is gonna get fucking dirty. So what's the point? But yeah, we're gonna just find a place out there. I'm gonna call tomorrow and find out, see where it's going, see if I can find something out there while we're out there.
Maybe in the
But
hood.
I hope not. No, no, Pontoon Beach is not really the hood. I've been over there before. It's not even really St. Louis. It's right across the water. It's technically Illinois.
Mm.
So yeah, it's not a bad spot. At least last time I remember it. But yeah, I know I didn't mean to start the show late, but I got so caught up in all this last minute shit, and I looked at the time, and I was like, oh shit, it's almost 9 o'clock. I gotta get this show within my time frame because I said I was gonna start it. But anyway, let's get the show started. Tonight's episode is inspired by the most recent events of aircraft. Listen, people, in the month of January alone, we've had we had a lot of incidents. We had the crash in Korea. We had a plane that just burnt up in Korea on the runway. Just today, or I think it was yesterday. No, it was today. An engine caught fire in Houston. And then, of course, the thing that happened in DC. And then, of course, what recently happened in Philly.
Did
Then
you
there
hear
was
the
a fight.
recordings for the Philly?
No, I haven't heard the recordings. They already released them?
They released something, and I heard somebody in that airplane say they don't know who they're effing with or something like that.
Man, I don't know. I haven't heard. They should have already recovered the black box, but the debris field in Philly was so vast. You know what I mean? It was such a wide area because that shit hit so fast that just it went everywhere. The whole square area was just littered with debris. But what was more amazing about that crash was all the video footage that was caught from dash cams, security cams. Yo, everybody. It was almost as if like people were anticipating that shit happening because people just so happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time when
Yeah,
that shit happened.
you
But there
can
was
hear
so much
somebody
footage.
say on that recording too. They said, "Help me," and then somebody in the plane said they don't know who they're effing with.
Then it could have been taken over. But I mean, like with the Philly flight, the manifest only had what 8 people: the co-pilot, pilot, the pediatrician, the family. I don't know. It's weird. That to me, I gotta hear the recording in that one because if you think about it, that plane only took off just minutes from Philly Airport
I
and
think it
went
was like
straight
two
down.
minutes or something.
Shit, barely. That's why the fireball was so vast. It still had fuel. It barely even burned any. So it was like, because when I first seen the footage and I told Captain James, I was like, yo, you're not going to believe this shit. But, when I looked at the explosion, I was like, there's no way that was a Cessna. They said it was a small plane. But then I was like, with an explosion that big, a Cessna would have not blown up that big. Even if it was full of fuel, I was like, that's jet. That has to be a jet that
Yeah,
crashed. How big it was, I don't know.
it was like
But
it was like one of those little small private jet type looking planes.
yeah, it was a Learjet. It was a Learjet 55. That plane, I looked it up, was made between the mid and late 80s. That plane is as old as me. It's amazing that the plane is even flying, but most
You jumped
planes.
out of an airplane that's 70 years old, Eddie.
No, I did not.
C-130 is 70 years old.
Yeah, okay, but like as far as commercial aviation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know,
Commercial
I know.
aviation's different, and it's like, what the fuck? Hey, Fat, what's going on? You said you got kicked from another live, so now I'm here. What the hell did you say on that live that got you kicked off? I wonder. That's fucked up. But anyway, Fat, welcome to the show. We're talking about aviation, worst aircraft crashes in U.S. history. I'm talking about planes that crashed on American soil. All right, I got lists, I got statistics, but yeah, the Philly crash, man, that to me, just a few days after the DC thing, blew my mind. I was like, ain't no way. Okay, you said, well, they were all, oh, okay, yeah, good luck. I've seen many of videos and live streams dealing with that. You're never gonna win because anytime you speak, they talk over you and it's a whole argument and you lost. I don't even bother with those topics. Anyway, but yeah, the Philly thing, man, woo, that was rough. There was a video. In one of the videos, there was someone engulfed in flames, and it looked almost as if they were missing a whole arm. Now, you know, when somebody is engulfed in flames, they're just like walking around just in shock. They don't know what the fuck's going on. And, you know, people are like, oh, well, why didn't you put your camera down to go help? I mean, I don't. Ain't much you can do. I mean, shit. But, you know, they're going to take all the footage. You know, they're going to take all the footage and use it for the investigation. But when you look at it, it almost looked like it's like a shooting star. And, you know, it came so fast. That's what people were saying. Oh, it's a missile. It was a missile of some sort because nobody, because you got to understand how fast. You know, the cameras that it was caught on don't do it any justice. So just watching this thing just come down, it's faster than what it would look like on camera. And just boom, nobody could tell it wasn't a plane until they started seeing the debris, engine parts, the landing gear. Until they saw that, they were like, oh shit, that's a plane. But I love how all the conspiracy theorists came out and was like, oh, that was a missile, that was no plane. When there's clearly fucking aircraft parts scattered all over the place. How can you tell me different? But yeah, I'm gonna go over a list of worst aircraft disasters in the United States to the best of my ability because I am so under the weather, it's not even funny. But I'll do the best I can, and then I will get more into future shows. All right, I got a show tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, but I'm barely even gonna have any furniture here. But I think I could pull it off with whatever I got here. I don't fucking know. All right, it's gonna be crazy. So
A box.
all right, so a box maybe. Yeah, I can do the best I can. Like I'm still gonna have internet here, but I don't want to have any furniture to do it on unless I did this outside on the porch or something. It's the only place I can do it. All right, so I pulled up Associated Press, and you know, as soon as all these accidents started to happen, everybody wrote these articles. But you know what blew me away about the DC one? It was the third pilot. It was the pilot. They kept her identity hidden damn near for the first few days, but now they reveal who she was. And I think they said at first the family did not want the military to reveal it, but under pressure from the public, who are the taxpayers, people demanded to know who this person was, and then the military coughed up and they were like, I guess with permission, they were like, okay, this is who the pilot was.
And they also
it turned
don't
out
do it until the next of kin is notified.
right, the next of kin was notified, but the next of kin did not want them to release the identity. And they didn't want to do it because they knew now with when it comes to this whole DEI thing and, you know, unqualified people based on race or whatever or gender, whatever the fucking case is, they were withholding it. And it turned out, yes, it was a woman who flew the aircraft, and they were trying to prevent that from being revealed in case of backlash. But I did hear that all of her social media is scrubbed. It's gone. But, you know, what you scrub from social media is never gone forever. So somebody's going to dig up this old shit and put out as much as possible. All right, so according to the Associated Press, I have an article, some of the deadliest plane crashes in U.S. history, all right? I'm not talking about aircraft around the world. I will be here for hours talking about aircraft crashes throughout the world. I'm talking just here in the U.S. because the most recent crashes happened here in the U.S. minus the shit in Korea, which that was, to me, when they caught that on video, was just insane. All right, so I'm not going to read the the opening synopsis because you guys already know what happened in terms of what happened in DC and, of course, what happened in Philly. But I'm going to get started with the list. It says, here are some of the deadliest. And before I get started, you know where the DC accident happened? You know, it happened also back in 1982. A plane crashed into that river. Yeah, it sure did. It crashed right into the Potomac. Not the same way, though, but
What about Platonic?
not you. Mind your business. All right, anyway, so yeah, that accident happened in 1982 where Air Florida flight crashed into the Potomac. It killed all 78 people on that flight. Oddly enough. Yeah, I'm talking about the Potomac. What the hell you thought I was talking about?
The
I thought you
Punani.
said Platonic.
You talking about the Punani?
No, I'm not talking about Punani. All right, anyway, here are some of the deadliest commercial plane crashes in the U.S. since the Air Florida disaster. All right, so I think it's in chronological order, I believe. Oh, it starts from the most recent. I'm going to start from the earliest. Now, January 13th, where's Captain James? I need to invite him because he was so geeked about being on this show, and yet he's not even fucking here. So let me see if I can invite him.
I sent him
Oh, you
too.
sent him? Watch he show up like towards the end of the show. I promise you. This is where he needs to chime in. You know, an aspiring pilot, and he's not even on the show about aircraft. And of course, people, if you're watching, if you have something to say, listen, I'm by far not an aviation expert, but I'm an aviation enthusiast. And you know, it's crazy. Like aircraft crashes are some of the most interesting things to investigate. I said if I ever work for the NTSB, I want to look completely into railroad crashes and aircraft crashes because you ever watch those documentaries, Rio, where it shows like worst aircraft disasters and they go through the whole investigative process behind it. It's really, really interesting shit. I don't know. Me and my wife, we be geeked watching this shit, and then you know, it just really, really make you think. You know, and then over here where I live at, there's like planes flying over us in helicopters every fucking day, and it's amazing that thank God nothing has happened with that. All right, so I'm gonna get started with the first flight. Captain James, if you miss out on this, you fucking owe me. All right, January 13th, 1982. An Air Florida flight plummeted into the Potomac. Now, the Potomac River is the same place the most recent accident just happened, except that this one in 1982 did not involve a helicopter. All right, it killed 70 passengers and 4 crew members. It was contributed to bad weather. Now, back then, you know, weather and radar wasn't as advanced, and it was really easy for aircraft to kind of lose its way in the weather back then. Even now, even with the most advanced of weather technology, you know, things still kind of get screwy. What's up? Where's your slippers? I don't know what to tell you. Oh, go get them. You better put them shits on. It's like dealing with a baby. That's my wife, people. All right, next flight, July 9th, 1982. A Pan Am World Airways flight crashed just after taking off of New Orleans, Louisiana, and collided with trees and a house. Yo, I seen the investigation behind this because it was on one of the worst aircraft shows we were watching.
Pan Am went bankrupt because of a lot of their.
Pan Am been bankrupt a long time ago, but
Yeah, that's why because of a lot of the accidents.
no, the Pan Am. So Pan Am, I think after that shit in Lockerbie, Scotland, the terrorist attack, I think that's when they just kind of went. Pfft, that was it. Anyway, I remember this one. This plane in Louisiana landed in a swamp, and the way they landed this shit, is it the same flight?
Maybe so.
No, maybe not. No, this one killed 145 people. But I remember there was a flight. I think no, it was the one in Georgia. It was the one in Georgia where they landed this plane, and they landed it perfectly in like a swampy kind of area. But this plane crash took place, and it collided with trees and houses. So they might have even like killed people on the ground. So I know the one in Philly injured a lot of people. I think they recorded somewhere around 23 people were injured on the ground. Mind you, this was like near a busy ass mall area, the one in Philly. Yeah, I saw some footage reel where this guy was sitting in a diner, right? They caught diner footage from inside. Some of the debris went through the window, and this dude had like on a cowboy Stetson, right? Old man in his 60s. The debris came through the window and plucked his shit off his hat, and he went, oh.
Oh shit!
I was like, yo, this man was incredibly lucky.
Yeah,
Because had it should have plucked him in, it could have possibly killed him, but that shit knocked his hat off, clean off like them old Bugs Bunny cartoons. Like, pew! Shit went flying back. I was like, whoa. Like, again, the Philly shit was amazing that so much footage caught that. But I don't know, man. I know every day now I've been looking up in the sky every time I walk out the door, and I'm like, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure. All right, August 2nd, 1985. I was only about a few months old. A Delta Airlines flight crashed when approaching to land at Dallas Fort Worth during a thunderstorm. It struck a car and water tanks and killed 134 passengers and crew members. Babe, what are you doing? So
Are you reading that one?
I'm reading I just read this one from August 2nd, 1985. I was just a youngin', basically. Next one, August 16th, 1987. A Northwest Airlines flight crashed just after taking off in Romulus, Michigan, striking light poles, a rental car place, and the ground. It killed 148 passengers and 6 crew members. But it doesn't say how it happened.
My
I
question,
don't know how it happened.
my question
know.
is, why do they do like 78 passengers and 4 crew members? Wouldn't it just be like 81 people or whatever? Why do they say it like that? Because on the news when this recent one happened, they said it like that, but it made it sound like they didn't care about the crew members. You know what I'm saying?
Because the passengers, when they do the manifest, the passengers usually are just top priority in terms of like manning. And then the pilots are the pilots. And then you got, crew members and stuff like that. But they always, and for the sake of news and media too, and sensitivity, they were like, yo, put the passengers first, then the pilots. You know what I mean? Imagine if they say 2 pilots died and then 178 people died behind it. It just wouldn't come off like the same.
Why can't they just say the total amount of people?
Because then if they just say the total amount, it's like, okay, well, how many passengers versus how many? So people are just going to be asking questions. So it's just easier to just say the passengers and then the pilots. Because if you say 100 people died, 100 people of who? Does it mean that you know what I mean? Like how many people were on the plane versus how many people died and how many people were crew and you know what I mean? It just saves the headache. Hey, Chiba, what's going on? How you doing? It's been a minute since I've seen you. Or any of your lives pop up. Welcome. Yes, hun.
Is that green bag clean?
Yes. Why? It's clean. It's clean. It's clean.
Just walk to it.
Then don't walk to it. No, it's clean. That's the thing that's going with me. Oh my God. It's coming with me, okay? It's coming with me. All right, bet. All right, so I was going to look up the one that crashed August 16th, 1987 because it doesn't say how it crashed, but I'm going to just keep moving. Appreciate the guest, Chibu. All right, July 19th, 1989. Damn, that was just only a few days. Shit, it was a couple of days after my brother's birthday. A United Airlines flight experienced engine failure and crashed while attempting to land in Sill City, Iowa, killing 100 passengers and 1 crew member. Engine failure is scary because, you ever seen a plane with a, blown engine? It could still fly. A plane can still fly with one engine, but you can fly it for as long as you possibly can, but you got to find like the nearest airport. But it can fly with one engine. And a 747, it has 4 engines. You can fly with one fucked up engine. Sure, why not? Hey, Kate, what's going on? Long time no here. Welcome to the show. Tonight's episode, we're talking about worst aircraft crashes in American history on U.S. soil. I'm refraining from talking about all around the world because then that will take all damn day. All right, so this next one, September 8th, 1994. A U.S. air flight crashed while attempting to land in Pittsburgh. It killed 127 passengers and 5 crew members. The airplane was destroyed by the impact and the fire. But it doesn't say, okay, I got to look deeper into why, basically, what caused those particular crashes, because giving me numbers and shit just doesn't do justice. I like to know how it happened. So I'm going to go and Google U.S. Air 1994 crash, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. U.S. Air 1994 crash. All right, so I'm going to find out exactly how that one crashed. Okay, here we go. U.S. Air Flight 427. It said it lost control due to rudder hard over. Okay, so that basically means that's pilot error. What's up? What's that?
Taking Goodwill.
Those are going to Goodwill. Yeah, this one was human error. So, a lot, when you say loss of control due to rudder hard over, that just means that the pilot was overcompensating for some shit and fucked the plane up. So I guess it looked like it said that it had 127 passengers, 5 crew. So real, this is how they would list this whole thing. Out of 132 people, 127 of them were passengers, 5 of them were crew, and everybody died on the plane from that crash. No one survived. Yeah, so that's how they would kind of list everything when they report some shit like this. They'll just be like, okay, yeah, this is how it's listed. This is how many people died, and that's it. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
oh, it is, man. It's scary considering I'm about to fly soon. I looked at my wife earlier. I was like, do you realize we're about to fly and all this is happening? I was like, oh, boy. She looked at me. She said, don't fucking say that. All right, October 31st. This crash happened on Halloween. October 31st, 1994. Holy shit, that was when my cousin was born. It seemed like all these accidents and shit happened around birthdays. That's kind of creepy. An American Eagle flight in Roselawn, Indiana crashed, killing 64 passengers and 4 crew members. But I don't know what the hell was the cause of that flight, so I'm going to find out. Or actually,
You are the cause of the flight.
I was the cause of the crash? You know how stupid that sounds?
Yeah, you were vaping in the bathroom.
Vape wasn't even out yet. You were either smoking cigars on the plane or smoking cigarettes.
Weed.
I wasn't. No, you can't smoke that on the plane.
Weed was around.
No, you can't.
They
No.
did. Hey, they did in that one movie.
Around.
What movie? Harold Kumar?
No, it was the one with Snoop Dogg. What is it called?
Oh, Soul Play? Oh,
Soul
my
Play.
God.
Told you.
Oh, my God. Get out of here. Soul Play. That's the dumbest. Hey, yeah, I mean, do you like Soul Playing?
No, I mean it's a goofy ass movie.
It really is a stupid ass, goofy ass. Man, it's just a dumb ass movie. I don't get me wrong. Whenever it comes on, I don't see it in a while. It's pretty entertaining, but I don't know. Let me see. Is this the same flight?
Yeah.
Wait, I think it is. Okay, yeah. So that flight that crashed in Halloween of 1994 was due to atmospheric icing, leading to loss of control. Basically, what happened was the plane's wings got iced over. And when the icing develops on these wings, of course, it's going to add weight. Now, you're probably thinking like, oh, it's just a thin sheet of ice. But in that altitude, when it starts to freeze over, it makes the wings heavy. It makes the elevators heavy. It makes the rudders heavy. It makes the plane heavy. So if you got extra weight on those planes, yeah, of course it's going to crash. So it lost control and crashed into a field, killing 68 people in a high-speed impact. So that means just like what we saw in Philly, it fell, and when you look at the debris field, there's nothing left of the plane. That means that shit hit the ground so hard, just like in Philly, that there was not much of it left. You couldn't find the nose, the fuselage, all that shit just basically disintegrated when it hit the ground. And this was on Halloween. Can you imagine a plane crash on Halloween? You can't make this shit up. That's almost something from Final Destination. Hey, Rio, let me ask you something. Final Destination. When you seen the scene with the logs on the highway, do you ever drive near those trucks ever since?
Yeah, I do.
You bugging. Yo, every time I see those trucks, I'm speeding past it. I don't ride around fuelers, 18-wheelers, or log trucks. I don't care how secured it is. I am driving right past that shit. And you know what I hate on the highway is that some people are so afraid to drive around trucks. They'll sit there and just kind of edge really slowly to the truck. Just pass the fucking truck already. What are you sitting there trying to time shit? Just go. Because to me, that truck has 18 tires. I've seen tire blowouts. So there's always a likely chance that one of those tires will blow out. On the 24, all you see is tire treads, shredded tire treads up and down the highway. So that's what makes me think probably need to just be careful around those trucks. All right, May 11th, 1996. Now, this is the time period between 1996 and 2001. For obvious reasons, this is where aircraft crashes get a little spicy. May 11th, 1996, a ValueJet Airlines flight crashed into the Florida Everglades only just 10 minutes after takeoff from Miami. The crash killed 105 passengers and 5 crew members.
I can tell you one thing. I'm not flying Value Jets, bro.
Who the fuck is that an airline?
That's what it sounded like, right?
ValueJet. Yeah, that's the name of ValueJet Airlines.
Hell no.
I never even heard of them. I don't even know if they're still in operation. Actually, let's look that up real quick. ValueJet Airlines.
That'd be the last one.
That's probably from Spirit. It's probably the predecessor to Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
It says, notice the keyword was. ValueJet was an ultra low-cost airline in the United States that operated from 1992 to 1997, where it was rebranded as AirTran Airlines. Yeah, well, that makes perfect fucking sense. I mean, shit, it was probably low cost for a reason. It probably didn't even have seatbelts. It was probably like all lawn chairs in there instead with like rope.
The seatbelts are only there for turbulence, I feel like, though.
Well, yeah, because turbulence could get so violent up there that if you're not wearing a seatbelt, it can literally throw you to the ceiling and then right back down. And before you know it, you're either knocked out or you landed on top of someone. Like, turbulence, to me, is so much fun. People, like, on the flight freak out with turbulence, and it makes me laugh. I don't know if I'm just laughing out of nervousness or I'm just, like, borderline sociopath. I don't know, but turbulence, to me, is the funniest shit in the air. I remember there was one time I was flying into New York, and we were landing in LaGuardia, but we were up there for a minute, and this plane had to circle around before it landed in LaGuardia because we hit so much air potholes. That's why I like to call it potholes in the air. Yo, the turbulence shook the fuck out of this plane, and every time we try to like descend, the shit just pushes right back up. We had so much wind over Queens, and people were just freaking out. Rio, what's the worst turbulence you ever felt on the plane?
Oh, I'll tell you, when I was probably strapped, I was on a 7-hour flight.
Yeah.
We were doing an in-flight rig, and I was trying to JMPI people when there was turbulence.
Oh shit! So you're sitting there just like,
yep. I ate like 4 Dramamines so I didn't throw up.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember they would have like barf bags before a jump, man. Especially when they nap the earth. Oh my god! I've never seen anybody throw up before a jump. Cool. No, hey James. Oh yeah, I knew you would be here. All right, turbulence, James. What flight had the worst turbulence you ever been on?
His recent one.
Hell no. I've had worse. But
really?
It was this one flight I was going to New York, so I started drinking at the airport. And
oh man,
I had like 3 Long Island iced tea, and I hopped on a flight. And just as they were about to take off, I wanted to pee so bad, man.
All right, hold on, time out, people. Wait, time out now. He wasn't flying the plane. I just want to make this disclaimer because he's a pilot. All right, he was a passenger on the plane. I have to make that very clear. All right, continue.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the bathroom, and there were clouds, but I begged because I was about to pee myself. And they let me in the bathroom, and shit, I got in there just in time to hit the clouds. It wasn't good at all. I was peeing all over the seat, all over the floor.
Oh, imagine
10 days straight. Had to brace myself. It was bad. It was bad.
I was recently on a C-17 pulling a safety, and one of the dudes had a pee so bad, but he was rigged up, right?
Oh,
and he was about to like piss himself. So I was like, all right, go use the bathroom. This dude pissed all over, right? And I was a safety, so I stayed on the airplane after they all jumped.
Yeah.
And this loadmaster, it was some chick. She walked up to me. She was like, "You know, you're gonna fucking clean that up, right?" And I was like, "Oh my god, all right, yeah, sure." So
because you didn't let him go.
I was fucking there cleaning that shit up, dude.
Oh,
that's
man.
crazy.
Oh, I tell you, when it came to the jumps, dude, I made sure I didn't drink nothing before I jumped because I did not want to get rigged, JMPI'd, and then hey, I got to go use the bathroom. D-rig. Yeah, I didn't want to deal with all that shit. I was
some of the most dehydrated I've ever been.
Love you.
Most of
Love you.
Love you too. No, most of my jumps I was dehydrated. But I tell you what, when I hit the ground and landed in the fucking in the drop zone, I took a piss right there. I D-rig, took my shit off and just went, yep, I did not care. I seen a lot of people do that shit. Yeah, just come on, man. You holding that shit up there trying to not D-rig and whatnot? I think anybody would. But yeah, turbulence, man, to me is the funniest shit. I don't know, because, you know, seeing the wings flex and shit like that, people panicking and lights, you know, turning on and off and people, you know, everything's rattling. I'm like, man, it's just a pothole in the sky.
Hey, they never been on a C-130 when the bolts are flying off of the ground and it sounds like you're about to fucking blow.
Man, taking off in that shit was crazy because everything starts shaking in the C-130. You don't know if you're gonna make it in the air to jump or shit. You're gonna make it off the runway. It was always sometimes it was questionable sometimes. I will say it was kind of questionable. Appreciate the gifts, James. Absolutely.
You know what's dope though?
What's that?
hanging your head out the window of a C-130 or C-17 or the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say hanging your head out the window. You
The
can't even open
door.
those things.
The
Oh, the door.
door.
Yeah, yeah.
That shit's dope as fuck, dude. I'm telling you, that's like the best thing ever.
Shit,
Nah,
you ever thought
nah,
about getting sucked out when you do that? Like, what if you just fucking
nah.
like?
Nah,
That's not the
it
best
doesn't
thing
feel
ever,
like
man.
that, but you go to do your like your checks and you look out there, bro. It's dope.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It's a rush, man. Just even running to the door before the jump was a rush. You know what I mean? And I think I was the number one jumper maybe once or twice, but that first time is the best. I think being the number one
Mhm.
jumper is
Yeah,
absolutely the
paying the
best
price.
because you already see everything. You don't have to
Yeah.
run up along the side of skin of the aircraft, trying, anticipate, damn, what's out there, what's coming up. Nope, you're already at the door, and all you got to do is face forward and have a good jump. That was it. That was it. Now I'm curious about this value jet crash. I want to know exactly what caused this particular crash. Captain Jakes, you probably never heard of Value Jet. That's also because they don't fucking exist anymore. They're now Air Trans. Is Air Trans Airlines still a thing?
I doubt. I doubt.
Air trannies?
No, not that.
No, that is. Hey, I'm allowed to say it now, all right?
I don't know that shit. Listen, just because I haven't had a restriction on me, you can say
No,
that.
it's
Because
not. Well, there's no DEIs anymore or whatever. I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I
this is
want.
not this. But hey, this is TikTok. That's listen. We got lucky with that one show. I don't know how. We got lucky with the revolving door of communication, community guidelines. We should have been shut down on that show a long time ago. All right, hold on. Let me see. Flight. Oh, yeah, this crash right here, James. I think this was oh, now this is the cause of the crash because I'm reading off a list of crashes, but
Uh
some of
huh.
the crashes do not have a cause on it. But I found out this cause of flight 592 um which crashed on May 11th, 1996. It says ValueJet suffered its highest profile accident when Flight 592, which was a McDonnell Douglas DC 9, flying from Miami to Atlanta, crashed into the Everglades, killing all 110 passengers. The crash was caused by an onboard fire triggered by full but expired chemical oxygen generator
Damn.
that was illegally stowed in the cargo hold without safety caps.
Yep, that's value jets for you.
Yeah, that's they was just like, here, just stuff this shit in there. Don't even worry about it. It's not gonna move.
They don't get
Nothing.
their
Just
annual inspection. That's why your ticket's so cheap.
well, shit. There's got to be a reason why airlines are so damn cheap. I mean, they're
You
skipping
said the type of airplane is McDonald.
McDonnell Douglas DC 9, not McDonald's. McDonald. All right. McDonnell Douglas does not exist anymore. They've been bought by Boeing. So now that it
Oh
basically it
yeah.
was a Boeing jet. They said the generators were put on the plane by maintenance subcontractor SaberTech. The resulting investigation revealed numerous systemic flaws and ultimately faulted both the company for storing the generators along with ValueJet for not supervising them. And it's funny because just a year or so later, ValueJet went under. And it also says this, Rio, about ValueJet. It says after the crash, many of ValueJet's other cost-cutting practices came under scrutiny. It says one of its planes flew 140 times despite a leaky hydraulic system.
They never been in a C-130, C-17, man. That shit's spraying everywhere.
Yeah, but come on, how is this plane flying over 100 times with a leak? They were just like, yo, circle X this shit. Here, put some gum on it. It'll hold for like maybe 20 or 30 more flights.
You
And
can
that's
use
it.
grass too.
Grass to patch up a commercial airliner.
Yeah.
Bro, you shouldn't be flying. And then it had another 31. It flew another oh no, it says another plane from ValueJet flew 31 times with malfunctioning weather radar. And another plane was allowed to fly despite engine rust that went unnoticed during its refit. Yo, no wonder why the prices were so cheap. They didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about nothing. They were just like, fuck this. This plane needs to fly. We need to make money. I don't care
Yeah.
how you got to do it.
That's
It needs to
that's
be done.
why that's why I'm really picky with who I plan to fly for in the future, man.
I
Really
tell you,
picky.
man. These airlines don't give a fuck
You don't
about you.
need a weather radar, bro, when you got your eyes. You see what's coming.
What the fuck you gonna
Yeah.
do? You gonna open the window and be like, a little bit more hail than usual. Meanwhile, your finger's frozen and you let all the air come in. Like, it
Wait till
don't
you
work that way.
get into some nice fluffy clouds and whoops, there's thunderstorm in that bitch.
I bet the engineer was in there just the co-pilot was drawing the weather system or drawing the weather
Yeah.
map on his fucking pad. Like,
Sending it
hey,
over
check
the
this out.
radio.
Hey, looks like I just drew up some thunderstorms. I
Oh.
think we're gonna be flying into a storm. Let me draw it up real quick. That's
You know,
how
like the
cheap.
people that draw the stuff in the port when the people are in the
Yeah,
port. Yeah,
yeah.
one of
Oh,
them.
yeah, those motherfuckers. Hey, Pickle Rick, what's going on?
So man.
Hey, we're talking aircraft crashes, worst U.S. aircraft crashes in the U.S.
What about that
Hey,
NWA
I don't
plane?
know about
Was
that,
it
man.
NWA?
man, we just talking about soul plane. Get out of here with that
No,
shit.
no, 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 not NWA.
Oh,
It's N
Northwest
something A.
Airlines.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
That the
the real
747 that
NWA.
exploded. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's TWA. Are you talking about that shit?
Is it TWA? Transwest, whatever.
Trans World Airlines. Oh, I know which flight you're talking about. In
The
fact, that one,
747. Yeah.
yes, that's
Transgender women,
that.
what?
Okay, so you're gonna get us fucking knocked. That flight you're
Yeah.
talking about on TWA
That they
is
said
on
a
this list.
missile.
Oh, I'm gonna get into that one because that one is actually on the list. TWA Flight 800. I was in 6th grade when this shit happened. This flight, that one is a big deal. But I'll get to that one in a minute. Let me finish up. Damn.
McDonald's.
No, the flight 592 from ValueJet. Yo, they had so much wrong with this shit.
A
Holy
little rust on
smokes.
the engine ain't gonna hurt you.
Yo, the FAA grounded ValueJet on June 11th, 1996. And I think shortly after they went out of business because they were flying planes that were just completely inadequate. How are they getting away with this shit? They were just like, they were like the Greyhound of the skies. All right, now, James, that flight you were just talking about, Flight 800, July 17th, 1996. TWA Airlines Flight 800 crashed into the Atlantic Ocean near East Mauritius, New York, on its way to Paris, France, killing all 230 people on board, and the aircraft was completely destroyed. They spent weeks. I remember this on the news.
Yeah.
They spent weeks plucking huge. And the thing is, it blew up in the way that a lot of the plane's pieces were still intact. So what they did was they just they reconstructed the whole plane. And they
Yeah.
were picking this stuff up. Now, the original report said that there was a malfunction in the air conditioning unit that sparked it. But a lot of people said that night that they seen a lit projectile or something going up to the plane that crashed the plane. Now, they were doing Navy exercises. I think there's like a Navy base somewhere out there because that's in Long Island. And somebody claimed they seen something go up at it. Actually, let me go into that real quick. Flight 800
Laser.
to me, it could have been. Because Flight 800 to me was like a smoking gun of plane crashes.
You should
Kinda
shine
like
a
9/11.
you should shine a laser from your house at Captain James's Cessna when he goes up next time.
I don't want them landing on my damn house. You know how much trouble you could get into shining lasers at planes? Dude, that's a federal offense. You're looking at time. Because that shit, like, the way the windshield of an aircraft, it's pretty reflective. So, like, you might think, oh, it's just a little beam. That beam, when it hits that windshield, lights the entire windshield up like a rave at a club. You know what I mean? You can't see shit.
The
So yeah,
dudes flying are like they're like cats, you know. They see a red laser, they start hopping all over the place.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, I'm gonna get into Flight 800 real quick because to me, growing up, that was one of the most controversial aircraft disasters in America. All right, Trans World Airlines Flight 800 was flying from JFK to Rome with a stopover in France on July 17th, 1996 at about 8:31 p.m. Only just 12 minutes after the flight took off, the Boeing 747-100 serving the flight exploded and crashed into the Atlantic Ocean near East Mauritius. Just only 10 minutes into the flight, and this shit done. 230 people died on that plane, and it was considered the third deadliest aviation accident in U.S. history. The third. You could probably guess which one was number one, but let's see.
11-9.
Yeah, I think that's on the list too. That is actually considered, well, it is an aircraft disaster in its own right. Regardless of how you've seen it done, it did crash on U.S. soil. So it ended up on a lot of lists as well. Now, it says accident investigators from the NTSB, They went to the scene, and mid speculation of what they thought at first was a terrorist attack, which was the cause of the crash, the FBI and the NYPD initiated a parallel criminal investigation. Let's see. Now they finished they took 4 years to investigate this. They finished it on August 23rd, 2000, and they came up with an in-flight breakup due to explosion in center wing fuel tank. That's what they said was the cause of it. Now there's of course that, and then there's let me see. No, the tensions in the investigation. No. Okay, so this is what the witnesses said when they seen this shit. They said, although considerable discrepancies exist among many witness accounts, most have seen a streak of light described by 38 out of 258 witnesses. 38 of them said they saw a streak of light, moving to a point where a large fireball appeared. Several witnesses reported that the fireball divided into two parts as it descended towards the water. These witness accounts were a major reason for the initiation and duration of the FBI's criminal investigation. Let's see.
And I feel like if it was indeed a fire, they would have found evidence of that.
Of course,
You
yeah.
know,
I mean, well,
like melted
like I said,
parts or what's not.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
I think most of those stuff that the aircrafts are built with, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they build them with some shit that make it not as flammable. But I mean, we're talking like way back then. It's not as advanced as it is now.
I mean, it's that was 1996. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? But
1996. Yeah, true.
yeah, it
I thought you
wasn't
Somebody
said
somebody
too long.
didn't ash
1966.
their
Oh, what the
cigarette in
fudge?
the correct spot, dude.
I don't even think smoking was allowed in 1996 on the flight anymore. I don't think so. I think by
No.
then they yeah, I think by then they fucking they were like, nah, no, you can't smoke no more. Now, of course, the controversies, the conspiracies behind Flight 800. It says here that it took 4 years and 1 month to be published. It says, oh yeah, the Navy ship. Now again, they said it was a nearby U.S. Navy ship. Some claim that was in the Atlantic Ocean at the time, and that may have been where that streak that witnesses said it may have came from. Now it says,
I think they were doing training or something.
it's possible, yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
people say
there's
they did
always
see a
some.
ship.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It says that they speculate that the airplane was destroyed by a missile, with the nearby U.S. Navy ship being the likely culprit. Now, the NTSB's conclusions about the cause of the crash took 4 years and 1 month to be published. It says all three theories, a bomb, a missile, a mechanical failure, remain. Speculation was fueled in part by early descriptions, visuals, and eyewitness accounts. Now, I'm going to real quick just go over Flight 800's conspiracy theories. I think there's quite a few of these things. There's quite a few. Let's see. Because I could go on the 9/11 conspiracy theories all day, but I'm not even going to do that. Let me see. There was explosive residues, which is why some people may have thought, it was a bomb. Unidentified radar tracks, and then let's see, what the hell is a bolide strike?
I don't know.
Bolide.
I know their
Oh, it's
sister
a
flight was right behind them too.
it's a bright meteor. Some people say it could have been a bright meteor that struck it. Electromagnetic interference as one. It's possible, but I mean, would an electromagnetic interference cause an explosion in the fuel tank? But again, a lot of the fuel that comes out of these planes is electronically controlled, so it's possible. But I don't know. That seems very unlikely. And then, of
Yeah, and
course,
then aircraft fuels pretty light.
yeah, it's high in octane, but it's very
Talented.
flashpoint is very. What is the flashpoint for Jet A fuel?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
That's
I know the
something you
ones
need
we
to
use
learn.
is 100% octane, I think.
Ooh, so that's very, very volatile fuel. Because I know Jet A is a mix of kerosene, maybe diesel, and then some other shit. If it's a high octane of 100, that means that shit is highly flammable. It doesn't take very much to spark jet fuel to light up. But anyway, I could go on about TWA Flight 800 all day. I'm surprised I haven't done a show about that alone. This next flight, coincidentally enough, happened on my birthday back in 2000. The Philly crash happened on my birthday this year.
American
I thought
Airlines?
no, the shit that happened in Philly, that was on my birthday.
Oh yeah, with
But the
the
shit, with the
Medevac.
with the Learjet. I was like, oh, my fucking birthday is crazy. This flight happened. This crash happened on January 31st of 2000. An Alaska Airlines flight crashed into the Pacific Ocean near Anacapa Island, California. The crash killed 83 people and 5 crew members.
Mm.
Yeah. Hey, Jackson, you've been quiet. I seen you join on the show. What's going on? You can talk, you know. Yeah, he's somewhere there. I see him there, but he's not there. All right, I'm moving on to the next flight. All right, and of course, people, September 11th,
You better hear me now.
2000. Yeah, I can hear you now, Jackson. Hey, Jackson, you ever flown on the plane before?
Have I ever what?
Have you ever flown, like, flew on the plane
Yeah.
before, Okay, have you ever, let me ask you something. With all these things happening with airplanes and stuff, are you afraid to fly?
No.
No, I didn't think so. I know me. I got to go fly in the next few weeks, and I've been flying. I've flown on planes. I jumped out of them, but
Look, buddy.
it doesn't deter me at all. Like I got to get to where I need to get to. I'm gonna get there.
Yeah, I
No
feel
matter.
like I
Yeah,
feel
go
like
ahead. You got it.
because of what happened in DC, the media is paying a lot more attention to these plane crashes because it's not common, but it's not very rare for the smaller type plane crashes. So I think the
Yeah,
media
but
is just paying a lot more attention to it and making it a
And
lot
it,
bigger deal.
yeah, but the DC one could have been avoided. Now the one in
yeah.
Philly,
Yeah,
I don't know. The
yeah. The
DC
Philly
shit could
one
have
was
been
just as
avoided.
crazy as DC.
Oh yeah, the Philly
Well,
one. What made the Philly one so crazy was not really where it crashed, more or less how quick or how soon it happened just after the shit in DC, and they had
Yeah,
people thinking like, "Yo, what is going on?" But remember too, a lot of this didn't catch a lot of news either. But there was a fighter jet that crashed in Alaska on a training exercise. You could look it up. It literally this happened, I think, last week. It was I think it was an F-22 crash. It
oh,
just came
yeah.
straight down. The pilot ejected. He was safe,
oh
but
yeah,
the
I saw
plane
that
is
one.
gone.
Yeah,
It said
$80 million.
malfunction.
I don't know what the cause was, but it was an $81 million jet destroyed. But the pilot's okay. He ejected safely. But there's been a lot of shit going on, man. I'm like, what? And then today, James, did you catch that plane that caught fire in Houston?
No?
Oh, so yeah, it happened just today. There was a jet, a passenger jet that was in Houston ready for takeoff, and the engine caught fire on the runway.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this happened this morning. It made the news. It made national news. No
Damn, what's
injuries.
going on?
Well, I can tell you right now, complete oversight is gone. Budget cuts is, whatever they cut from the FAA. And I think a lot of this started happening from COVID. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of planes sat dormant for a while because not a lot of people were able to fly anywhere. Air traffic wasn't as crazy as it is now or before. So a
What
lot
kind
of
of jet was
planes.
it?
Good question. Hold on, let me look that up real quick. I got you. Hold on. Yeah, because that caught me off guard. I thought it was a bogus story. Because you know how like these things happen and people start pulling up
Yeah,
bogus, like older stories to make it look like it was
yeah.
recent. No, hold on. I got you real quick. Hold on. I'll tell you the model of the airplane and everything. Yeah, this just happened today. Hold on. Yeah, it was showed the wing was on fire too. It was pretty weird. Let's see if I get a news story on it, and I'll read it to you. This happened at the George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Hold on, I got you. Give me a second. So it also let me see. Hold on. I got you. I got a story for you. I got the article. I'm gonna read it as I go along. This is coming out of Eyewitness News 13 out of Houston. It says United Airlines flight out of IAH halted moments before takeoff due to engine issue. And I did hear that the engine did catch fire too. It
You
says
said it was a
airport fit.
what?
What, the model?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even start the article yet. It says airport
Oh.
officials say passengers and crew members are safe after a United Airlines flight out of Bush Intercontinental Airport reportedly had an engine issue just before taking off on Sunday. It said that after 8:30 a.m., a United Airlines flight 1382 had to abort its takeoff from the runway. It says the official said the flight was expected to depart to head to LaGuardia. The Houston Fire Department responded to the scene, investigate as part of safety protocol. No injuries were reported, and all passengers deplaned and were bused back to the terminal. There were 104 passengers and 5 crew members in total. Doesn't say what the model is, so I mean, whatever they use for such flights.
What's the flight number?
Flight number was 1382 United Airlines. Yeah, it could be a 737 maybe. I mean, for such a short flight like that, it's possible. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really give the model number at all with it. But maybe I could look it up. I'm not sure. Can't tell from here. It definitely look like it's It definitely looks like it's Boeing. So yeah, maybe you can look it up and find an answer better than me. But yeah, I'm gonna head over to the next article. The next crash, September 11th, 2001.
It's an A320.
It was Airbus? Ah,
Yeah.
fuck. But I mean, if the engine caught fire, that can't be an Airbus issue. I think that's just simply a maintenance issue. You know what I mean? Somebody fucked up.
Yeah.
You gotta think. I don't know who we could trust the most, the pilots or the maintenance crew. Just imagine, before you depart a plane, you had somebody that was looking over your engine and they had a shitty ass day. Like their wife left them for another woman, or your kids got taken away, or you gotta pay child support you just found out. Or you know what I
Then
mean?
you got to
Or
study
you
what happened, what could have been missed from the previous flights. Right?
Well, also when something like that, like an engine fire happens, they go back to maintenance records. They go back to the very last thing that was done on that plane in terms of that engine. When was the last time it was serviced? What was the repair that it had last? You have to
Yeah.
look over all that shit. But just imagine, I think I'd be more afraid of maintenance. I trust the pilot before I trust the maintainer. And I'm not bagging on
Yeah.
anyone that's maintainers, okay? But the fact is that they could be a maintainer that's not paying attention because we always got our cell phones out, or they had a shitty day, or
Probably
something
on
happened at home.
TikTok, doing a live.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm about to install this bolt, and the shit just drops somewhere you can't find it. It's like, and then you cut the live off, and that's it. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. It
There
happens,
goes
man.
your ass,
No,
boy.
I'm telling you, I swear, I can only hope. I trust the pilots with everything, but it's the people on the
Yeah. Put
ground.
your trust in us.
Yeah,
The only thing that's concerning is people that get scared in certain situations.
like
Like
what? Give me an
regardless,
example.
you like engine failure. Some people panic,
I
and
mean, yo,
when you panic, then you don't know what to do. But if you fly the aircraft, there's more chance that you might be able to save your life.
are we
Like
talking
that's the
about the
first thing you're
pilots or the
supposed to do.
passengers? We're
We're
talking about
talking about
pilots,
the
right?
pilots, yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
they have a whole checklist. They have a whole book on any sort of procedure or any incident that go on. There's a whole fucking procedure that they have to go through step by step in the book. All right, I
Yeah, but
listen.
regardless of those procedures, the first thing you're supposed to do is fly the aircraft.
Well, the first thing you do is don't
Because
panic, and that's it.
if you try to do everything else, who's flying the plane?
Worst case scenario, there's a malfunction and your co-pilot passes out for some
If you
fucking
have a
reason.
co-pilot, then yeah, the captain is probably gonna fly while you go through the stuff. But in the case where you're flying by yourself, you always gotta fly.
Or if you're on a bigger aircraft, and you got an engineer. You know what I mean? Co-pilot and pilot can figure something out. The engineer can sit there and just go through all the steps.
Yep.
But that's not always the
But
case.
like you said, there is procedure. So in terms of those situations, it will be stated that okay, if the engineer is the one to go through the book, then the engineer is gonna have to go through the book. If the first officer and the engineer is gonna have to work together while the captain fly, then that's gonna be the case. But you
Yeah,
always
exactly.
like I was looking at a video today. This dude apparently this dude, I don't know if he was doing maneuvers or stall or whatever, but he started spinning
Mm-hmm.
and the plane went into a dive. And he was,
Mm.
instead of flying the plane, he was screaming to ATC. Help. Like,
What?
dude, you're about to die. You screaming help. Ain't nobody could help you there. At that point, you have to help yourself.
Yeah.
First of all,
And
that's
when
embarrassing.
a dude came on and telling him what to do, right? I think it was
Yeah.
somebody who was flying another aircraft told him what to do. He got out of the spin.
Yeah. All you gotta do is just
So
don't panic and listen.
yeah, when you panic, you start forgetting shit. So yeah, panicking is not good. Even if you're scared, sometimes you're gonna have to toughen up. If you want to go home or you really want to go to heaven. That's the
But see,
only
I
two.
I
Yeah,
think what makes pilots panic is the fact that they're responsible for over 100 souls on their flight, or whoever, how many people they got on their flight. It's not a matter of them getting home. They need to make sure over 100 people on their flight get home. And I think that's why they're panic. You know what I
I,
mean? But
I, I
like,
think I, I think it's lack of experience because I don't think an experienced pilot would panic unless probably both of his engines have blown off completely and he's
okay,
just
look,
flying a stick.
uh, perfect example, Sully, right? Remember Sullenberg landed in the
Yeah.
Hudson?
Mm-hmm.
Dude
How
was
old is he?
calm. Yeah, he was calm,
Experience.
but he had a lot of experience. He used to be a crop duster. He used to fly small
Hmm.
crop planes. He was also in the Air Force. So he's
Yep.
got a lot of flight experience and a lot of hours. He was seasoned. And not to mention, he was about to retire, too. He was very seasoned. But, it's normal for new pilots to be a little nervous. You know what I mean? No matter what
No.
you train for and how much you train for, you're never prepared for every situation. Even if it's not, there's
That's
situations
correct.
you might get into that's not even in the book.
Yeah, that's correct.
Like, for
That's
example,
correct.
a rat on the plane. That's not in the fucking manual when you sit there and scroll through it. Let
Just
me
put the
find what
wipers
page is
on. It's
rats.
gonna come off.
No, I'm
Or
talking
there's
about a rat.
yeah,
Open the
put the
door and throw
wipers
him
on.
out.
He's gonna come off.
This man
Oh,
said,
in the
open the
plane.
door. In the plane, yes. Nothing prepares you for that. In fact, there was recently a woman found a rat. Somebody found a rat running around in the plane or something like that. Some weird shit. No pilot's prepared for that.
Mm,
And then Jackson says, just open the plane and throw the rat out in like 10,000 feet.
yeah, that would be fine.
You open that door at all at that altitude, everybody dead.
No,
got
Maybe
it.
the rat
they'll
might
still be
survive.
okay. It's only 10,000 feet.
Okay, so when does it become completely pressurized? If you could open the
Uh,
door,
don't quote me on this, but it's somewhere between 12 and 15. I think it's either 12 and 15 or 15,000 feet.
okay, you might be
You
correct
need
because
oxygen.
remember that Boeing plane that lost its door because of weak joints? I think
Hmm.
that had to been like no more than about how high in the air, but nonetheless, nobody lost cabin pressure. The whole door was blown off, and they still could like land and shit. Like nobody was like, but that has to be like the coolest breeze ever to get through this
Bet it is.
fucking
It's pretty
door.
cold up there.
I bet. As a matter of fact, hold on, I'm gonna look that up because I know that happened at a very crazy altitude. It was a 737, right? 737 door incident. That I'm looking this up real quick. Where's that shit at? The door plug incident.
Was it the Max,
Hold,
the 789?
yeah,
What am I saying? 789? 739?
hold on. Give me 1 second. Altitude.
I've got a story to share about a dude that jumped out of a plane near my house a couple
Is he
years ago.
dead?
Yeah, is he dead? All right, no. Share the story. Share the story. That's inappropriate. Share the story first.
Yeah, so I'm in North Carolina back in like I think 2021 or 2022. There
Yeah.
was a private jet, like one of them 10-seaters, and one of the engines lost power and they were losing altitude, but they were near the airport, but they were losing altitude. So
Yeah.
one of the pilots thought they weren't going to make it, and he decided to jump out midair and aim for a lake. And he missed, and he hit a tree, and he died, and the plane ended up landing perfectly fine at the airport.
So he died for nothing.
Yeah,
So, like James said, like in the situation, he panicked, right? He probably hasn't flown much, and it was like, I got to get out of here one way or another. If I jump out this plane,
No
I might have a better
parachute.
chance. I might have a better chance of surviving than crashing on this plane. He died for nothing.
yeah. They found him
Unbelievable.
like someone's backyard, hung up in a tree.
Damn.
Even the tree couldn't break that man's fall. Like,
Yeti, you've been in a tree
yeah, I've been stuck in a tree.
on your
I mean, but
birthday.
shit. Yeah, out of all things, man, I will never forget that shit. I've been stuck in a tree. I was up there for a hot minute too. Oh man, I had to get
What,
myself out.
skydiving?
Nah,
Yeah.
paratrooper.
Nah.
I jumped out of a jump on one of my flight jumps. I was about to tell. It was twisted my words. It was my 32nd birthday. I will never forget it in Alaska. Long story short, all of us jumped out. We all jumped in trees. It was like over 30 of us. I was the last one down. I was too high to get down with the ladder, so I had to get myself out. And it was on my birthday. I was in that tree for like about an hour, I think, at the minimum. It was interesting. I still made it to my reserve steak dinner, courtesy of my wife at the time. So yeah, I think I made out all right. But real
That's one
quick,
thing. Mhm.
what,
Say what you
what's
said.
that? No, go
No,
ahead. You got it.
I'm saying I'm never doing that, bro. I'm never gonna do that. I saw one video of one dude. He jumped out of a plane. He pulled his chute, and that shit never opened. And his mom was there watching him too. I think it was his first time, and
Total malfunctions. Shit. That's
yeah,
Rio will tell you. That's some of the scariest shit. As a paratrooper, is more than likely a total parachute failure. That means your main didn't open up or your reserve. It does. It's rare. It's rare that it happens, but unfortunately, it does happen. And that
can
was
your
the one
reserve
thing.
save you?
The
Yeah.
reserve can save you, absolutely can. But if you have complete malfunction where your main doesn't open or your reserve don't open, shit, you either gonna survive really broken or you're gonna die really broken. Either way, it's bad news. You know what
I've
I
got
mean?
30.
So
I've got 37 jumps. I've never pulled my reserve, and I've been
I
on
put
people's shoots, and I've been tangled with people. I just fucking let it ride.
I
You,
pulled my
you know
reserve
how much
twice.
jumps I have?
0.
Big number,
That's a big ass
big
0.
number.
No, I pulled my
I
reserve twice.
my jumps is equals to Eddie's live
Eddie's what?
gold
Eddie's
right now.
amount of
His
times
live
he
Live
had,
goal. I
Eddie
didn't
had
set a
sex.
goal.
No, he
I didn't.
his live gold right
no.
now.
It compares to the amount of times he had sex, Eddie.
That's bullshit. Absolutely not.
Oh
Absolutely
shit.
not. Captain Spaulding, what's going on? What is up, Captain Spaulding? Oh man, what's going on, man? But no, let me get back. Hey, Jace, let's get back to that door plug blowout from that 737 MAX 9. All right, it happened on January 5th, 2024. Boeing 737 MAX 9 saw its plugged emergency exit door fly off mid-air, leaving a gaping hole in the plane's fuselage. Guess how high this plane was when that happened?
Yeah, how high?
Nearly 16,000 feet.
Damn. So yeah, they were over.
What the fuck? Can you imagine? You're 16,000 feet and your door blows off.
As long as you like slowly descend, I think you'll be fine.
Well, the fact is
Well,
that
they
the
had
whole
to
plane
drop
didn't tear
real
apart.
fast too.
How did
Well,
everyone
not
not
really
just get
fast, but
sucked
they had to
out?
get down.
Well, like James said, and he kind of said, don't quote him on it, was when the cabin is fully pressurized, it has to be somewhere, he said about 15,000. In this case, this was around nearly
Between
16,000
12 and
feet.
15.
So this shit here didn't even like suck people out. It didn't rip off the fuselage or nothing. The door blew open like somebody had a video, and they were just chilling, just sitting there like this. Meanwhile, the doors open. They're just like, I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's
But
probably safer to be in the seatbelt than to unbuckle your seatbelt and try and get out of your seat when the door's open right now.
man, I would have been wearing my seatbelt, the person next to me seatbelt. I would I would not be playing. No,
Person
like,
next to you had to have a seatbelt extender, probably too.
I'll take this seatbelt extender and put it on
Probably was an
mine.
empty
Fuck that.
seat.
Look, even if nobody was getting sucked out of the aircraft, the fact is I am not getting out of that seat. The fact is
What
that
about that other aircraft where the dude, the captain got sucked out of the window? He was still
oh
there, hanging on,
yeah,
man.
he was on. I couldn't believe it. It was a British. I think it was a British Airways flight, or it was somewhere overseas. This
Yeah.
man was on the front of the airplane, stuck to the window like this the entire time. Yo, if you watch some of the aircraft reenactments, this shit was crazy. He survived. All he had was cuts and bruises, but you're talking thousands of feet in the air. He stuck to his windshield on the outside, and he stuck like this. Damn, that could have died, froze to death, whatever. Done. And yeah, Captain Spaulding, the knees, man. I'm feeling it now from my right knee. It sucks. It's starting to suck, especially as you get older. That airborne knee, it's starting to hurt. Rio, I know you're feeling it. You're not feeling it yet, but you'll feel it. You'll feel the airborne knee. All right, hey, this
I tore both of my meniscus last year.
on a jump.
Yeah, in the JRTC.
Ooh,
Good job,
yeah.
kid.
It was so dark I couldn't even see my hand in front of me.
Yo, JRTC was the worst to jump into. I am sorry, that shit was ass.
You
One
got
thing
10
I remember
points
about
now.
one thing I
10
remember
points
about JRTC was that it was not flat. And they told us when you jumped in the JRTC is that you have to watch out for some of the horses that were out there, some of the inbred horses and wild hogs, and the terrain was not flat. Luckily, thank God I didn't get hurt in that shit.
It was
Oh,
fucking.
man.
I landed on a hill. My knees shot up to my fucking head.
Like a cartoon. You probably bounce you were like this. Yeah, I told you they said the
I
shit
threw-
was not flat.
I threw my pew pew that night because I was so pissed.
Like
I threw it.
Shit.
I threw it because I was fucked up. My knees hurt so bad.
Are you still feeling it today?
Yeah, my shit's still fucked up from it.
Put that
I
shit on
can't
paper.
fully like squat down. Oh, it is.
Put that motherfucker on paper. Service related? Absolutely service related. Put that shit on paper. All right, so after that Boeing shit where the door fucking blew off, they grounded all of the 737 MAX 9 planes, and all the passengers from Alaska Airlines from that flight filed a lawsuit against Boeing. And then Boeing denied legal responsibility and argued that the suit should be dismissed. How they had some nerve to be like, this is the manufacturer, by the way, that says, no, we're not responsible for that door being blown open. It wasn't our fault. Now, they could be right? Now, if there's a defect among all the other models, then they're in the wrong. But it could have been a simple maintenance issue that perhaps the people at the maintenance for the airlines fucked up. But I think it turned out that it was their fault. It was their fault, apparently. But you know how this shit go. But here, hey, James, you want to hear this part, though? In terms of the Boeing 737 MAX 9 door problem, the FAA cleared them and said that that to resume the flights at the end of January. And then it gets, they were cleared to fly after that. But then that Boeing found out that 50 of undelivered jets were reworked after misdrilled holes were identified on some of the fuselages.
Yeah.
And that missing bolts likely contributed to the Alaska Airlines door plug blowout. Now, how old is the 737 MAX? That's the
butt plug
MAX
blowout.
9.
Both planes are recently built, right?
Yeah, so that's Boeing's fault.
Alaskan Airlines had a butt plug blowout.
Probably. Hey, wolf. That's not good. I can read more into that, but man, listen, I'm going to get back to the list. September 11th, 2001, nearly 3,000 people were killed as 19 Al-Qaeda hijackers seized control of 4 jetliners, sending 2 of them into the World Trade Center, a third into the Pentagon, and 1 in the field in western Pennsylvania, and remains the deadliest terror attack. What?
That happened out here, right? In America.
9/11, yeah, that happened on American soil. That's why it's on the list.
Oh, okay.
So despite what happened and how it happened and all the conspiracies, the fact of the matter is that it happened on American soil. That's why they consider it one of the worst aircraft disasters. But you know what's crazy? 2 months later, another plane crashed in New York, in Queens. Do you remember the American Airlines flight that took off going to the Dominican Republic?
Was it the 76?
I can look that up
it
for you.
was. That crashed into the house, right?
It crashed into Bell Harbor in the Rockaways. Crashed into a whole neighborhood, killed 5 people on the ground.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Hold on, let me look that up real quick.
I think one lady, she was going home from the store.
Hold on.
The supermarket or whatever. The family was probably dead.
Yeah, everybody on that flight to the Dominican Republic perished. That was human error, though. Apparently, this is what they found out from there. It happened on November 12th, 2001. Now, mind you, this is literally 2 months and a day after 9/11. So the first thing they thought was terrorism. And they were like, oh, shit, here we go again. So after what they found out to be the cause was structural failure and separation of the vertical stabilizer caused by pilot error, leading to loss of control. It was on the Airbus 3... Huh?
I'm listening to you.
No, I was saying it was an Airbus A300B4.
Oh, it was A300.
Yeah, it was an Airbus this time. Now, I remember when they did the investigation to this, they dragged Airbus into it because no matter how old a plane is, the manufacturer still needs to be part of the investigation. So they blamed Airbus at first and said, yo, their elevator has a default. But when they picked up the pieces and they seen all the stress cracks inside that elevator, they realized that it was overstressed. And they're like, there's no way we built this to that point. That's when they realized the pilot, because when he got caught in that turbulence from the other plane, he got caught up in it. The plane started shaking, and he's sitting there controlling the elevator. But the elevator, he's working against the forces of the turbulence. So, of course, the elevator is going to get stressed out and break, and you can't fly a plane without an elevator, so the shit crashed. So,
Did a nose dive.
it literally nosedived into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It said it was on its way to Santo Domingo on November 12, 2001. Shortly after takeoff, killing all 260 people, as well as 5 people on the ground. It is the second deadliest aviation accident to have occurred in the United States, behind the crash of American Airlines Flight 191 in 1979. And it's the second deadliest aviation incident involving an Airbus A300.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so what had happened, that Airbus got caught in the wing turbulence of a Japan Airlines Boeing 747-4. So it says the location of the accident and the fact that it took place only 2 months after 9/11 initially spawned fears of another attack. But the NTSB attributed the disaster to the first officer's overuse of rudder controls in response to wake turbulence from a preceding Japan Airlines Boeing 747-400 that only took off minutes before it. The problem is, I think air traffic control should have waited a little bit longer after that
Yeah.
Boeing 747 took off. Now, why in the world was this
He
plane
probably
allowed?
flew under the flight path.
Possibly. It says also the NTSB, according to them, the aggressive use of rudder controls by the first officer stressed the vertical stabilizer until it separated from the aircraft. The airliner's 2 engines also separated from the aircraft before impact due to intense forces. That means, you got to understand, you got
How
a
are they sure it was
747.
the first officer?
Huh?
How are they sure it was the first officer, not
They
the
don't
captain?
know. The black box. The black box reveals everything. So they probably got some of the audio recording from the black box, and of course, all the data recorded from the black box to determine who was at fault when flying this plane. Now, mind you, you got a 747, right? A 747 has 4 engines. You got to imagine how much wake turbulence that shit is causing against a plane
Yep.
like an Airbus
Yep.
A300. So yeah, the
Yep.
engine popped off and the elevator popped off. That to me, it was almost like right directly after that shit took off.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. Like shit like that could be avoided. Like the shit in DC could have been avoided. Now the one in Philly, according to Rio, there was some audio that came out already from the black box. Now Rio, what did they claim came out of that black box from the Philly flight?
It was talking to air traffic control, but
Yeah.
you could hear in there that it said like they don't know who they're effing with, and somebody said like help me.
So what they're thinking is the plane was taken over?
I don't know if it's that, but they were just trying to like decide like what they were saying in there off to air traffic control.
That's crazy. And you know what's crazy about that flight? Remember how we were talking about Shriners Hospital and shit on one of the last episodes? That kid, that patient was from Shriners Hospital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not funny.
They were
but
born in Mexico,
Yeah,
right?
it's funny.
No,
Well, Missouri,
so
then Mexico.
no, so the patient was from Mexico and they flew Shriners Hospital and some other organization flew that kid from Mexico to get this special procedure that otherwise they couldn't get back home. So they got the procedure and the flight was supposed to land in Kansas before going
Yeah.
to Mexico. The plane was registered in Mexico, but that plane was manufactured over 30 years ago, so it's already a pretty old plane.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know?
Mhm.
So the plane was supposed to go to Mexico, and then 3 minutes after it took off from Philly, it crashed. It nosedived literally into the street.
Yeah, that was pretty bad though.
That
That
to
shit
me,
was bad.
I can't imagine. I can't
It's way
imagine what
worse than
that
a
feel
falling
like.
star, man. Shit.
I
You
can't
could try
imagine
it
what
out.
that's
Just
like.
fly with Captain James next time he goes out. Test it
Captain
out.
James,
And I'm
man,
always
shit.
scanning when I'm flying, bro. That's one thing I don't play about my life. I'm always scanning. Even if like I'm not supposed to be paying attention, even if like they have to look for me, I still look for them. Because in some cases, other aircraft, just like the what's it called, the helicopter and the CRJ, the helicopter they were the ones who were supposed to be looking for the CRJ.
Yeah,
So
but
sometimes when I'm in the flight path and other aircraft are coming in to join the flight path, they're supposed to be looking for me because
I
I'll
wonder.
announce my position based on where I'm at in the pattern,
I am
or even
dying
if I'm
to.
out of the pattern. But yeah, I still look for people. I
Do you
still
fly
look
around
for people.
helicopters around Clarksville?
A lot, a whole lot, bro, whole lot.
But they're not
And
flying as
those,
high as you, though,
yep,
are they?
yep, yep. Some of them are hard to fucking see too. Some of them are like so small too.
Well, see, what you just said is pretty interesting. You said some of them are hard to see. So, I
Yeah, it
mean,
depends on where
maybe,
they at, but it's not
but
like
this one,
easy to spot them out like
Just
that.
look in your rear view.
right? All you gonna see is
Yeah, I
door.
think I'm gonna have to install one of those. But yeah, normally those guys announce their position, so it's like you look if they give their position, you look in that direction, and you probably might be able to like identify them. You might not identify them right away, but
Hmm.
yeah, sometime during the pattern you'll see them
Yeah, I mean
because
that's
everybody
true.
give their position because it's not controlled over a cloud. But I'm always looking. Sometimes there are like a lot of helicopters out there, probably three, four
Especially
doing
where we are.
patterns. Yeah, then they got four planes in the pattern. Some people go off to the training area, but once it's like me, that's why I try to fly times when it's just me alone.
Fair enough. I mean, shit. The shit they're saying about the DC, I mean the DC crash is that the helicopter was apparently on a training mission. In the event, like if the president had to be evacuated out of DC or whatever the case is, or something's happening in DC, that's what it was training for. But the question is, why was it flying so low, and why was it flying in the path of an active runway where there's constantly
Yeah,
planes
I
landing
feel,
every
I
so minutes?
feel, I feel like ATC could have done more with that too, in terms of like you saw them on a crash path, like turn them around immediately. Don't ask them again if they see the aircraft. Because
Yeah,
they should have been able to see their altitude. Oh shit, they were flying VFR, I'm not sure. But for some reason, I don't know. They saw them on the same path. They could have turned them around, but I guess that
it's not.
wasn't the case.
It's not a car, man. And, a lot of people like they're like, well, how come the helicopter just stop use their brakes? What the fuck? It's not a car. It's
I'm
not a
saying he
car.
could
You
have go
can't just
down, he
fucking.
could have go up, he could have go right up, he could have go right down.
It could have just went in reverse. I mean, it's not like you gotta understand. It's dark, but it's not that dark. I know one of the first questions they asked about the helicopter crew was they have night vision on
They always fly
because
night vision at night.
well, what if they didn't have it on this time? I mean,
I'm
they were
pretty
in a
sure all
well.
military at night fly night vision.
Yeah, but
Okay, but
there's a
they
lot
could.
of white lights out there regardless too. And
I mean, that's true. It's a very well lit
another thing
area.
too, another thing too, they said he was looking at the other plane that was taking off.
Oh, yes, because if you look at the very first video that was published, there was a plane that just took off from there. And my
Yeah,
wife kind of saw that too. And she was like, she said it, she was like, well, what if they were looking at that other plane taking off thinking that was the CRJ,
yeah, they were
which would make
looking
so
at
much
the other
sense.
plane.
And then realize, oh shit, there's another CRJ landing. Because on an active runway of planes landing, what are some of the time intervals between each plane landing?
Mm, it
For every 10,
depends.
15 minutes? I know, like in
Probably less than
LaGuardia.
that, man. Probably less than
No,
that. There's
there's
like,
a run. So
uh-huh.
there's a
Go ahead.
runway in LaGuardia where there's an area in Queens called Landing Lights Park, right? You can see the planes literally landing over you before they land in LaGuardia. I used to go there as a kid, and I would say every 5 minutes, 5 to almost 10 minutes, there would be another plane landing behind another plane flying
Yeah,
over. So I
yeah.
mean that sounds about right.
It depends on how, yeah. It, it depends. It depends. Like some spaces are pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, like that shit in DC, we don't know what the time intervals was to that, but I mean, what are the chances of a plane, a commercial jetliner? Thank God it wasn't anything bigger than a CRJ. I can't imagine if it was like a 737 or anything of that nature or a 320. You know what I mean? Something a little bit bigger man, I don't know. I'm still I can't wait till the final findings come out in regards to this because I am dying to know. But we'll never know the whole truth anyway. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You know the
All right,
black box is actually orange,
yeah, I know that.
and it's stored in like some gooey thing, like a gooey box cylinder looking thing.
Yo,
Mm,
so the black box does come in different shapes. Unless if you look at like Google images of black boxes, some of them are cylindrical and then some are just like
Well, it's like stored
Like
in
square.
that cylinder in this
Yeah,
goo stuff.
those are the memory disk, kind of
Yeah.
like a old school recorder, like the way big ass um before hard drives and whatnot used to have like these disks, and they would store megabytes and megabytes of memory, where megabytes was huge back in the day. It's an old technology that doesn't really change very much. And the cool thing
Mhm.
about the black box, it could be submerged underwater for I believe at least what 30 days and still work. So, and they could take a beating. You could beat it with a bat, throw it down the stairs. Yo, this shit won't break. But there has been
Yeah, I mean, it
accidents.
survived plane crash, so of course you can't break with a
But
bat.
no, but some of the black boxes have not survived plane crashes. Some of them were completely destroyed, and they
Yeah.
managed to put them together because without that black box, you wouldn't know what the fuck happened in that flight. You wouldn't know a damn thing.
I wonder
So,
who made that.
Honeywell. Honeywell is one of the manufacturers of black boxes. I know for a fact it's them, and then
Honeywell,
there's
you're
quite a
talking about the
few.
people that make the honey?
No, Honeywell is an aviation company. They make like fucking instruments and shit like that. Hold on.
Okay, okay. I thought it made
You
like
should know this
phones
because
and
when you
shit.
fly a plane, you guarantee to find something from Honeywell in that
Oh
plane.
yeah? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
Shut the
know.
fuck up. Shut up. Hey, believe it or not, too, your car, the car that you drive has a black box. Yeah, I
I
was
took it
right.
out.
Honeywell. You can't, that's illegal. You cannot
My
take
sh-
out the
hey,
black box out of your car.
my shit's white, bro.
It's illegal if they know.
Why is a white box? Why do you have a white box in your car? It only records accidents with black people? Or what? I mean, I don't know. That's fucked up, dude. But yes, Honeywell Aerospace is, in fact, I think the only flight recorder manufacturer. There's no other. Only Honeywell Aerospace makes these. They're the
Yo, quick
leading
question,
manufacturer.
Eddie.
Yo, what's up?
How much likes you got on your thing right now?
4.4K.
4.4K?
Yeah.
I'm like half of them.
He's like
I've
half
been
of them. Yeah, he's like
I
half of them.
got I got
Jackson's like half of them.
11. You guys got to add me back to this live because I got 11.6, bro. Add me back to the
11.
live. Yeah, add me back. I've been tapping my life with it. Add me
So
back.
Honeywell is a leading manufacturer of flight data recorders, also known as black boxes. They're the only company that makes them, so they make them for damn near everybody. All right, I got two more accidents on here real quick before we wrap this up. We're moving on from November 12th, 2001 to August 27th, 2006. A Com Air aircraft crashed when taking off in Lexington, Kentucky after it left from the wrong runway and ran off the end. Two crew members and 47 passengers were killed. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
How do you take off from the wrong runway? Captain James, chime in. Hold on. Let me get this guy back in. That shit's ridiculous. All right, Captain James. Let me see. Wait for him to come back in. Hey, Captain James,
You take off from the raw. Yeah, go
the
ahead.
wrong runway, and then it ran off the end of the runway, taking off the wrong runway.
There's people that took land on the taxiways too. I don't know how they did it because there's
Hold on.
lights, the different shit, but I don't know. We probably did that
Hold
in the daytime.
on. Perhaps I'm
That's
gonna
you.
read more. Thank you. I'm under the weather. I apologize. I'm gonna read more into this because I'm actually quite curious as to how you end up on the wrong runway. Okay, happened on August 27, 2006. Supposed to take off from Lexington, Kentucky to Atlanta. The summary that take off from wrong runway due to pilot error. This is the pilot's fault, James.
You talking about the Miss Migos?
What?
You said takeoff. I don't know.
Shut up. No, but that one that went the wrong runway, apparently the pilot went the wrong way.
Yeah, most
If
definitely.
if ATC is telling you what runway to line up and take off from, how do you end up on the wrong one?
You can't read?
Um, it probably was a case whereby it was a left or right runway, and they probably made a mistake.
I mean, that's scary. Not to
Especially
mention
if
this.
you have like two taxiways before a runway, like Miami. Where else have that shit? There's a lot of
Mm,
places that have it. Like, I think Orlando too. They have like two taxi. Well, majority of the airport should have it. Fucking Kennedy and what's not have it also. but I don't know. Maybe they passed one of the taxiways and thought that was actually a runway they were crossing over, and went on to the fucking runway, or maybe they got the left or right mixed up. Maybe they were
It's like the
supposed to
left.
be on the right and they took the left, or they were supposed to be on the left and they took the right, or in case where they went to a different number. Now that's fucked up. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
really fucked up.
so it's like you open up a pack of Twix, right? And you get confused between the left Twix and the right Twix.
Yeah,
Make this shit make sense, man. I don't understand how you even messed this
they're
up. That
pretty
could have been avoided.
close. They're pretty close. Like a lot of airports, they have the left and right runways like really close. They're like side by side.
I mean, that's a
But
given. But
it's for you to remember if you were given the left or the right.
that's where you got to pay attention. Maybe there could have been an error with the communication. The headphones could have been fucked up, or he wasn't paying attention. I don't know, but I'm
Or
gonna read a
maybe he
little bit
just
more to.
forgot. Maybe he didn't write it down. There's people that think like, yeah, I'm gonna remember. I'm
But
gonna
you have a
remember.
co-pilot. The co-pilot should like catch on to this shit too.
Especially if you're accustomed to something. It's like, okay, you fly out of Miami 4 times a week and you
Yeah,
get
right.
this particular runway. So even if something has changed, it could be just that, you being accustomed to taking off on this runway, and you're accustomed to getting this taxiway clearance. So you're like, okay, I already know what they're gonna say, I already know what runway they're gonna give, and you plan ahead, and you're like, cool, yeah. Because I've had times on my sim where I
Yeah.
land, well, I didn't land, but almost land on the wrong runway just because one, they're side by side. Two, it's like I already had in mind. I had already seen on my no, this is a sim, not real world. I
Okay.
had
Yeah, I gotcha.
seen
Oh,
my
excuse me.
projected approach, so I had already know what runway I was supposed to go to. So I had that in mind. I was given a different one by ATC, and I still went to the one that I saw because it was just a difference. They had, I think it was 3.5 and 3.6, but I'm already seeing 3.6. But there's two 3.6, I think 3.6 left, 3.6 right, and then there's 3.5. So I think I went to the wrong one.
Yeah, but you
Well, I
didn't
did went to the
crash.
wrong one, but I
Then he
just
got
didn't.
fired.
I was
He gets
flying on
fired
my
on the
sim,
sim.
man.
Can you
Just
imagine
being
that?
confused and at the last moment, and that's why sometimes you gotta ask questions, especially if you're not sure. Don't just go through with shit thinking that all right, cool, it is what it is. I'm on the right path. Fuck it. Yeah, it's good to ask
And that
questions.
and that rhetoric really applies to everything in life. You know what I mean? Even at work, if you're not sure about something, I know people gonna hit you. Well, there's no such thing as a stupid question. And then you ask a question that's like, that's a stupid ass question. People are afraid to ask questions because they don't want to look like either they weren't paying attention or they're dumb or some shit like that. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. You're right
No,
though.
most of them, 99% of the time, you're just dumb, but it is what
No,
it is.
99% of the time you're not paying attention. No, I'd say 80% of the time you're not paying attention, and 20% of the time you're just dumb. You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you just can't pick up on it right.
I'll
All right,
stick
but
with
look,
99.
but real quick, I'm gonna get back to that Kentucky flight. But can you believe it? Only one person survived.
Kentucky?
No, this happened in Lexington, Kentucky. The flight that went the wrong way. So it was a Comair flight 5191, also known as the Delta Connection flight 5191 under code share with Delta.
Mm, looks
It
like
was scheduled.
PSA.
Basically, yeah. It was supposed to go from Lexington, Kentucky to Atlanta on the morning of August 27, 2006, around 6:07 Eastern Daylight Time. It was also a Bombardier CRJ 100 extended range. It
Damn.
crashed while attempting to take off from Bluegrass Airport, just 4 miles west of the central business district of the city of Lexington. So what happened was this. The aircraft was assigned the airport's runway 22 to take off, but used runway 26 instead. Runway
Mm,
26 was too short for a safe takeoff, causing the aircraft to overrun the end of the runway before it could even become airborne. It crashed
yeah.
just past the end of the runway, killing all 47 people and 2 of 3 crew. Guess who survived?
The pilot?
The flight's first officer was the only person that survived that plane crash.
Imagine the
Damn.
survivor's guilt.
What's that?
The survivor's guilt on them.
I should have
Yeah,
died.
I don't know. That's like the shit that in Korea where it landed and it crashed into that wall a few weeks ago. Only 2 people survived that, and they sat way in the back at the very last seat. Now, I
They
know
just got
people like,
lucky.
they probably did, because people love to argue that if you were in the plane, who dies first? The people in the front, the people in the middle, or the people in the back? It
It
don't
depends.
matter.
It depends on how the plane crashed.
There's too many factors at play that could determine that. Like the shit in Korea. Everybody thought like, well, how do people in the back survive? Well, the shit slammed into a wall. But I will say this, had that plane hit that wall maybe 50 miles an hour faster, those people in the back would have died.
Yeah.
Instantly. But like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it all depends on how the plane was hit. Like, for example, the shit that happened in DC, right? It got hit on its side and everybody died. It didn't matter. They all died. Like, you might get lucky. How would you guys feel if you were the only survivor of a plane crash? Could you live with that for the rest of your life?
Of course, I'm alive. The fuck?
I mean, yeah. Some
Of
people
course,
like
I'm living with it.
this man. Like Jackson said, survivor's guilt. Some people will be like, yo, why me?
Oh no.
Why didn't I die? This and that. You see, you say that until, God forbid, it happens, and then you really start questioning your existence, and you really
I'm
start
not gonna
questioning.
question that shit. The main fact is I'm alive. I'm alive.
All
That's
right.
what I want to be, alive. I don't want to be dead.
I don't want you flying my airplane, bro.
Hey, trust me, you better off with me because you know what I'm gonna try to do? I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna try my best to save us. If you don't die, I mean, if you don't survive, then I guess I'll see you in another time, brother.
Yeah, in
But
court.
I'm gonna try my best. I'm just playing.
Nah, but like Jackson said, survivor's guilt. Like, Rio, let me ask you, if you were the only one to survive an airplane crash, would you be able to live with that, knowing you're the only one that survived? My man went to sleep. All right.
Real probably masturbating. It's what time
It probably is.
it? Oh,
That's why his
10:16.
mic is
Yeah,
off. Oh, he's back. Oh, he must have finished. Hey, Rio, let me ask you again. Did you catch that
that was
question?
quick.
No, yeah, I answered it. It just didn't work. I said, yeah, fuck everybody else.
Whoa,
Yeah, this man.
whoa. No, that's the kind of guy you don't want flying your plane.
Yo. All right, real quick. We're gonna be wrapping the show up soon. I still got one more accident to read. The flight's first officer, again, was the only one that survived this easily avoidable accident. The first flight officer, James Palenke, was the pilot flying at the time of the accident and was the sole survivor. However, Captain Jeffrey Clay was responsible for taking off on the wrong runway. So it was the captain's fault. It wasn't even the flight's first officer. It was the captain.
Wonder he died.
Yeah. And it says the crash was likely caused, they chalked it up by the NTSB as pilot error. Basically, he made a wrong turn and he paid the price, trying to take off on a short runway.
Yeah, everybody make, and 22 and 26 is definitely not far off.
Nah, but I'm looking at it on the map, and it's quite evident on this map. If you look this up, runway 26 is very fucking short. By the time he even tried to take off, he was already in the grass. There would have been no way he could take off. In fact,
But what are like
that
the directions like? Like, are they close to each other? The runways? Is it
let me
like
see.
running across each other?
Let me
So
see if I
that
can
took
pull
and
that up.
confuse the shit out of you.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to flip this over real quick.
You a
and
buster.
Shut your ass up. All right, so check it. You see that right there? That red
Oh.
is runway 26. That's where they took off at. So imagine them coming.
You see what I was saying? So he probably taxied to the runway and thought that he was on 22.
Pay
He was
attention
actually
though.
on-
Look, but look at the X, right? The X on the
Yeah.
map indicates where he took off at. Mind you, you see the blue line is where he was supposed to go.
Yeah,
and
that's what
somehow
I'm
he
saying.
made it. Yeah.
It's real close. So he made the first left instead of the second one.
Yeah.
Whatever
Just that simple.
taxiway that is, he probably. Well, I mean, that's a little too skinny to be a fucking runway, but oh well. Damn.
But the biggest question is why they're not seeing this shit from the tower. ATC should have caught this shit and be like, yo, you are on the wrong runway. Where are you going? Where were the eyes that, they're watching this shit? That's their job.
The
they're supposed
brown
to
eye?
be visually. See, the brown eye, I don't know.
They're
Not
probably
talking about
They're
that.
saying, I got $20, man. You think you're gonna make it?
Wow. Yeah, it's probably Robert flying today. I bet that motherfucker fuck up. Watch him make the wrong turn.
How long are ATC shifts?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know, but I know they got time.
Okay, let's look that up. That's why we got Google here. How long is a shift in ATC? Probably like 40 hours.
Nah, they have to
No.
sleep and shit too.
No, I'm fucking around. I know. How long is an ATC shift? The answer is air traffic controllers typically work 10 hours or less per shift, including breaks. They must also have at least 9 hours of rest between shifts.
Yeah. Just like we must have 8 hours of sleep before we drive those fucking trucks.
Which you
Am I
know
on that
never
mission
happens, so chill
tomorrow?
out. I think you are. I think you need to look into that. Your name was thrown in the hat because
Mm.
apparently Barlow can't do it, but you might want to look more into it.
I can't
So the
run, I
way
can't walk, I can't jump, I can't wear armor. I don't know what's gonna happen, but oh
you
well.
should have said that in the chat, but I'm gonna leave that one alone.
No, no,
You should have
I'll
said
go.
that.
I'll go. I'll go. I'll go.
Okay. All right. So if your ATC shift patterns work as follow, before I read the last flight before we all go to bed. So
Yeah, hurry
shift
up.
flames,
I gotta
they typically
think
work
more.
between 90 and 120 minutes on position, followed by a 30-minute break. Work rotating shifts include day, evening, and night. ATCs may work 6 shifts followed by 4 days off. And ATCs work at airport control towers in route centers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they get
and they only get 30 years on the job. You can work. It says they have to retire at age 56. They have to. It's a requirement.
damn.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I
It's a
get to fly up to 65.
wow.
That's
You can fly up
definitely
to
be fair.
99. All right, let's read this last accident real quick. I was gonna read other statistics, but it's getting late. I think this episode it dragged pretty good. And then of course before all this shit happened, the last deadliest accident took place February 12th, 2009 in Buffalo, New York. A Colgan airplane crashed near Buffalo, New York, killing everyone aboard the Bombardier DHC-8 propeller plane,
The
including
shittiest
40.
transportation company out there.
We're not going there. Listen, Bombardier may not make as many things as they used to, but let
You
it be
remember
known.
that shit where my daughter said she like what was it? Was it Bombardier and what
Who was it?
Embraer?
Oh, it
Yeah.
was Embraer and Bombardier. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rio. I asked James to ask his daughter who who is the better manufacturer of business jets, Bombardier and Embraer. That little girl said Embraer. I never wanted to hear a kid so bad.
Mm.
I'm joking. I don't hit kids, but it
I
blew my
like
mind because
Embraer though. Better than
Embraer is
Bombardier.
cool.
It,
They're very slept on, but Bombardier has went through a complete restructuring, right? So Bombardier used to build a lot of things. They used to build jet skis, snowmobiles, trains, commercial jets. Now they shaved all that off. They shaved all that pork, sold it to other companies. Now they only do business jets, and they are doing the best that they've ever done in their aerospace history. They are killing the jet game right now. Killing it.
yeah.
CRJ they sold to Mitsubishi, and then Mitsubishi scrapped the plan for CRJ. So there's some Mitsubishis branded as CRJ. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a few years ago. But anyway, this last flight killed 45 people, 2 pilots and 2 flight attendants. Another person on the ground also died, bringing the death toll to 50. Can you imagine? You're just walking, minding your business, and this plane lands on you. I
Did it
can't fucking
run?
imagine that. Huh?
Did it run?
I
Gotta
don't
be
know.
quick.
All right, and then real quick, we're gonna find out what caused that crash because it doesn't tell me. Let's see, and then we're all gonna go to bed, people, because it's getting kind of late.
What you mean? No, no, no. Pause.
Nah, not together. Pause. Hey, yo, nah. I'm sorry about that. Nah, we're not all gonna sleep in the bed together. I got my
Yeah,
own
you're
bed.
going to your bed. I'm going to my
Damn, nigga.
Whoa! Oh, nah. All right. No restriction. I'm shocked. I'm in complete shock. Anyway, the cause of this crash. This was a propeller plane. Now, propeller planes was rare on this list, but this is one of the deadliest leading before all this shit happened. The cause, they said it stalled and crashed during landing approach. That's it. It just stalled. Yeah, it said the National Transportation Safety Board conducted the accident and published a final report on February 2nd, 2010, that identified the probable cause as the pilot's inappropriate response to stall warnings. So basically, he was getting stall warnings and didn't know what to do, or he just took the wrong actions in regards to the stall warning. That's it. He probably either ignored it, probably thought it was an error, and just said, fuck it. Yeah. So I don't know, man. To me, it was a Bombardier Q400, in case you guys want to know. Yeah, it crashed. It looked like it crashed near a house. So, yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. I don't know, man. Look, we all got to get somewhere somehow, right? I know there's people online right now that's like, well, I'm never flying anymore. Amtrak and Greyhound for me. Okay, let Amtrak take you to fucking Hawaii then, and let Greyhound take you to Puerto Rico. You ain't getting into those places without a plane.
Right?
No, you take the garbage truck to Puerto Rico.
My wife was going to kill you if she heard that. She was going to fucking kill you. Anyway. But no, listen, if you want to get to exotic places, you gotta fly. All right, aircraft travel is still the safest form of transportation in the world. You are more than likely, you're more than likely to get into a car crash than you are crashing in a plane. Period.
Yeah, true. And the DC thing was not supposed to happen. Just so you're tracked.
DC crash was easily avoidable. But there's a lot of theories, conspiracy theories. A lot of people said it was done intentionally. Other people
I blame
said,
those guys.
You want to hear one crazy theory I heard about that? Somebody made a theory, and I try to take every single theory and try to make sense of it about the DC helicopter. Someone said that those pilots were already dead and that the aircraft, the helicopter, was radio controlled, like a drone.
What the fuck?
You never know.
The only reason they said that was, so the only reason somebody thought this, and some people thought it was pretty plausible, was the flight pattern.
VIP?
I don't know. The flight pattern was a little wobbly, and it aimed straight for that plane. It was almost, somebody said it was almost as if it was controlled on its own, that the pilots were already dead. If the pilots were already dead, what did they die of?
Exactly.
You're just going to throw dead people on the plane and be like, here, fly. No, that doesn't work that way. But we'll look. I love aircraft investigations. I love plane investigations. I don't know. I should have worked for the NTSB. I think that's like.
And I love Hennessy.
Thank you. I know the number for AA if you need it. And I love Hennessy. Yeah, only somebody who drinks a lot will say that. This is not sponsored by Hennessy.
No I don't drink anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, and the sun doesn't shine anymore either. That's bullshit.
So you, buddy.
He's like, I'm drinking right now. Oh man. Yeah. But check out real quick before I go. Check out what this last plane did. Right, it said in its final moments, the one that crashed in New York, the aircraft pitched up 31 degrees, then pitched down 25, and then rolled 46 degrees and snapped back to the right at 105 degrees. It says all the passengers aboard experienced G-forces estimated at 2 Gs. That means the motherfuckers were sitting there stuck onto the ceiling, stuck onto the floor, just stuck on anything, because a plane being whipped around like that.
You sure it wasn't a fighter jet?
It was a propeller plane.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it says following the clearance for final approach, the landing gears and flap were 5 degrees were extended. The flight data recorded indicated that the airspeed had slowed to 145 knots. The captain then called for flaps to be increased to 15 degrees. The airspeed continued to slow to 135 knots. 6 seconds later, the aircraft's sticker shaker activated, warning of an impeding stall.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Where they crashed, they didn't make it to the airport. They crashed before, right?
Yes, they sure did. They sure did. So
I saw that.
Yeah, it also says the captain responded by abruptly pulling back on the control column, followed by increasing the thrust to 75% power. That improper action, he sure did. It said the improper action pitched the nose up even further, increasing the gravitational load and increasing the stall speed. The sticker pusher.
You don't pitch up in a stall; you pitch down.
Okay, so why would you pitch down in the stall? To get airflow back to the engine?
You need to gain airspeed.
To kind of get the engine.
Without, not even that. Without air flowing over those stuff like the ailerons and what's not.
Yeah.
Especially the rudder and stuff. I doubt whether it's easy to control.
Yeah, because you got to get air back into those engines. Because another reason why the engines could stall is because they're not getting the proper air for ignition. So, like, if you're going up, you're not really getting any air going up. But if you go down,
The remix
you
to
get more
ignition.
airflow in it.
I don't even think
So,
it's to do with that. Once you
I mean, that's my thought. It's just
because
basically like,
he had reduced the power. Two, he was losing airspeed, increasing flap, so that was more drag on the airplane. And yeah, I guess he slowed down too much. And when the stall shit, when the plane started to stall, he pitched up instead of pitching down. And then it depends. I mean, he was probably pretty high too. He still had altitude to at least pitch down a bit, gain
well,
airspeed, reduce the flaps. Yeah, but
it doesn't say how high he was though. It just said that he
but
was up
even
there.
if he was still in the approach, so he probably had altitude because he was following steps, I guess. So he was still at a decent altitude to gain airspeed.
It's possible. Who knows? We
But
weren't up
that
there.
pulling up would have actually slowed the plane down more.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
that's
you're
why
not.
he
Because you,
rolled also.
I can't imagine. I would love to see the reenactment to this because there's probably like some computer reenactment of it all. But it also
Yeah,
says
I
here the
think I
sticker.
saw it.
I gotta see. I gotta see it. Usually go on YouTube and you find out
Yeah,
these flights and shit that crashed. They got reenactments of them. It
yeah.
said that in his final moments. No, it said the stick pusher, which applies the nose down control column input to decrease the wing's angle of attack after a stall, activated, but the captain overrode the stick pusher
Yeah, he
and
was pulling
continued
back.
pulling back on the control column. Wow. I gotta see
Cause
this before I go
then,
to bed.
yeah, cause that shit, I think it forced the plane down. Yeah, it's gonna force the plane down to gain airspeed, especially if you're too slow.
Yeah.
So all he had to do was maintain that. And once he gained the airspeed, he probably would have got back control gradually. But,
Right.
he fucked it up by pulling back and the plane just stalled more. And
Mm.
once it's like completely out of airspeed, it's gonna roll.
Man, you can't be
Yeah.
fighting against gravity like that. Like, where the fuck would he
Uh,
have learned that? See, they probably didn't even consult to their manual. They probably just start just doing shit on a whim and
Well,
was like, yeah,
you do that shit in training. Like
in the
the early
simulator.
stage of it, not even in a simulator. Like 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 your beginning of flight school. You train for stalls. It's gonna be the same thing regardless of the aircraft. It's just different speeds.
Yeah, right.
But a
So, like it
stall is a
says,
stall. You're out of speed, you're gonna fucking stall.
mm, all right, yeah, I agree. Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna read these little crash statistics. It says statistics show that up to 80% of all aviation accidents can be attributed to human error. It says the most dangerous times include takeoff and landing at the times periods before and after these events. Pilot error is thought to account for 53% of aircraft accidents, with mechanical failure being 21% and weather conditions 11%. It says and listen, James, even in the best training situations where flight crews undertake comprehensive simulator-based training, human beings tend to revert to previous habitual behaviors. Training helps, but it takes people time to develop muscle memory, which can result in catastrophic unintended consequences.
Yep.
So no matter what, you could train for anything and everything, but you're human. So you're gonna
Yeah.
react before you proact. Before you know what I mean? You're gonna react like, oh my God. Then you gotta be proactive and be like, okay, I need to figure out what to do. Let me resort to my manual and see what the manual says to do. Or maybe you might not need the manual because you have that experience.
Probably if you're
Now,
relaxed, then you have more time to think though. Because if you panic, then a whole bunch of different shit is gonna be going through your mind.
oh yeah, but you also like you got to keep control. You got to maintain control. But your co-pilot, if you panic, co-pilot's gonna panic. So, and a co-pilot could be a newbie. So you got to be the better person and like just being calm, cool, and collected. Now it says
Yeah.
compared to other major forms of transportation with only 0.04% deaths per 100 million miles travel, train travel is much more dangerous than airplanes. However, air travel is only as safe as the operator, the equipment, and the training procedures. Of course, yeah,
Mostly
shit
the
still happens in
equipment.
the air. Yeah, shit still happens in the air, of course. But that's the training mitigates. It doesn't eliminate the issues. It mitigates the issues and it lowers the chances of anything going wrong. You know what I mean? It's like in the military, you train, but things still go wrong. Don't matter.
Yeah,
You know,
people still
shit
die.
happens. Yeah, shit happens. The training only just lowers and mitigates the number of these things happening. It's just that
Yeah.
simple. All
That's
right,
why
folks.
I don't plan to roll over in no LHS. I ain't gonna be doing no roll over. I wonder how many people say that shit
Let me
when
tell
they
you something,
fucking
and Rio.
rolling
You
over.
probably, if somebody was rolling over in a military vehicle, they're not yelling roll over. They're yelling, oh shit, fuck. They're not yelling roll over. Fuck no. That shit is stupid as hell. You know you're rolling over. Why do I gotta yell this shit?
Mama!
Like, Mamma Mia, wah! Like, I don't got time for this shit. Like,
Roll over. Yeah.
God forbid I'm ever in a rollover. I'm not yelling roll over. We understand that. Just, oh shit, hang on. Oh shit, hold on to something. Like, don't.
Popeyes, KFC, McDonald's, some of the
Shit,
places you're never gonna get the
shit,
call again, you know?
you can, you can roll over the truck and be like, love that chicken from Popeyes. Whatever you gotta fucking say.
Be like,
Don't
oh shit,
say
nigga.
well,
I think Marlo would say something like that.
oh yeah, he definitely would. Absolutely. That motherfucker. But
Yeah.
no, in the training, you ever done the rollover training for a Humvee?
Yeah, remember we did that shit in Italy?
Oh no, I remember we did it. I was asking Captain James if he ever done it. You
For
ever
me,
done
yeah,
it?
yeah.
That shit dumb. It's fun, but man, it's not realistic. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you may not even completely roll over. You may
Yeah, I've
roll
never
on your
done it.
side.
I've never done it.
Okay. You know, see, that's what I'm saying. Like you know, not every truck crashes the same. Not every car crashes the same. Not every plane crashes the same. So yeah, you know, the rollover thing is like when it completely rolls, like complete 360 over. It could do a
That's
180. You could be upside down.
yeah, that's why I like driving, man. Like I
Yep.
always guarantee my safety when I'm driving, bro. I love my life.
Yeah. Do
I
you
love
guys
my
get
life.
sketched out when somebody else drives in any
Sometimes
vehicle? Like
for me,
not a truck.
I can drive it with Williams and Barlow. I'm not gonna lie, or Soren Escabel, or maybe Dinkins. They can drive. Uh,
Chris.
Rad, fuck no, Rad a little iffy, but he should be straight. Yeah, but
But
you never know when he's gonna be like, oh, yeah,
whoa, no. But you know what? Like, what about in like another vehicle? And let's not talk military vehicles. Do you
I'm
trust
going to
like
bed.
somebody
I'll
giving
see
a?
y'all later.
All right, man. Hey, real. Let me ask you real quick before you go. Do you trust riding in somebody else's car? Like you trust other people's driving?
Yeah.
Okay. Enough said. Good night.
if
All
they're
right. That was
driving their
real,
car,
everybody.
yeah, they're driving my car. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, shit. Yeah,
uh,
I'm a Rio on this one. We gotta wrap this up. Hey, listen, everybody. I know it's late. I started my show late. I already gave my explanation. Captain James, executive producer and co-host of the Daily Mind podcast. Thanks for joining.
man.
Rio, who just left, also co-host and executive producer. It is getting late. And everybody else that joined on, Jackson, whoever's joined on early on the show, have been on for almost 2 hours. So,
Big up
um,
P Diddy and R Kelly doing time in the
no,
box.
yeah, you heard Diddy went to the hospital recently, right? They apparently, as they described it, whisked him away in the darkness.
Um,
Something about his knee or some shit like that. I was like,
damn, he been on his
yeah, I
knees
don't.
a lot in there.
Damn.
I mean, that's the only thing I could think about.
I mean, coincidences. I know
Yeah,
this shit
I won't put
sounds.
it past him either. Oh well.
With him, anything is possible. But nah, real quick, also, shows are going to be a little scarce. I'm bringing the show on the road with me because I'm going to go visit family and stuff like that. I might do a show in New York. I might do a show in Florida. I'm going to be everywhere. All right. Not sure when the next episode is going to be. It might
You're
be
going to
on.
Florida and going to New York?
Bro, I am going. You got to understand, I got to drive my car to New York to leave there. Right. And then my
hmm
wife and I is going to take her car to go visit family in Florida. And then we're going to bring the car to get shipped. So we're gonna be up and down everywhere, man. It
Oh,
can be done.
so you're driving her car out to New York as well?
No. So I'm driving. Okay, so we're gonna drive both our cars to New York, but I'm gonna show up a couple of days before her. She's gonna
Oh,
show up to say hi to my family. I'm gonna leave the car there, and then we're gonna hop in her car and leave. So
oh,
yeah, that's the goal. So okay, real quick, the next show I think I got is tentatively it should be Tuesday. It's gonna be a little difficult because I won't have any furniture here, but I'll do the best I can actually to
Yeah,
make
man,
it
just
work.
stand.
Stand and do the
Shit.
show the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I might have an idea. I might have a way
Just
to
get
do
a
it.
mic, stand.
Oh, I gotta place the laundry room because the washer and dryer don't belong to us, so I can just stand in there and just do that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, James.
All right, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, have a good night. Everybody else, thank you for joining the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Tentatively, the next episode can be Tuesday. I'll let you know by tomorrow. Meanwhile, have a good night. We'll do this again next time. Let's continue on with season 19 and stay safe no matter what mode of transportation you're in. Have a good
All right,
night, everybody.
nigger.
Peace
Stay
out.
woke.
Yeah, stay woke. All right. Have a good one. Good night,
All right,
everybody.
nigger.
Whoa, you can't. You're a black man. You can't say that. Next time, use an A. Use the fucking A. Don't use the R. Fucking crazy, man. I don't know, man. Probably hide under the sheet.
All right, man. Later.
Oh.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, later, man. Later, everybody. Good night.